Shall we ask the viewers? Can they spot what's the odd one out here? Shall we ask them that?
Yes. Do you guys know which one of these things is not like the other?
Like the other.
Oh my goodness!
Tic tac.
All right,
Tic tac.
let's get this show on the road.
Tic tac.
I am insanely late. I am so sorry, ladies and gents. What is going on? Welcome to the Casually Gallagher show. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things. Deadline day is here. Today it is the deadline of days. What, half hour until it's closed in the UK, right? Am I wrong?
Hour and a half, right?
No, it's 11, isn't it?
Oh, was it 11? Yeah,
Half
okay.
an hour left.
Half hour then.
Yeah,
half hour left before the window closes.
I say, but don't forget, deals can still happen after that if the papers and everything all get fit in.
Yep. But yeah, I am accompanied by my amazing panel of everyone that's a Gallagher except for Scott. We got Winter Surfer, Real Chris, Will, and Ahmed, and myself, Marshalldbdx, your host. Ladies and gents, before we start, as usual, hit the admin stuff. Check out the links in the description below. Be sure to smash the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the bell notification so you're notified when we do go live, especially during this international break coming up. You want to be on top of it. You want to make sure that you don't miss a stream. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you are notified. Links down below to everyone's content, the Twitter, the Discord, Ahmeds Channel, Sarcasm City, all the fun stuff. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about all these last-minute deadline situations that we're going to be covering as they are happening, and literally, like, while we were backstage, I was prepping some tweets, and we still got more tweets coming in, so I got to get those while we're talking about the show. But that being said, last thing I got to mention is memberships starting at 99p. Check that out. And guys, let's just get this show on the road. Let me start off.
Hang on, can I say something? Let me say something. If anyone watches AEW, they've got a group called the Jericho Appreciation Society. We are the Conor Gallagher Appreciation Society right now. Praise Conor Gallagher. Praise Conor Gallagher.
I can't go that far, Andrew. I'm just here for the vibes, you know. I'm here for the vibes.
I hope you're spontaneously trust.
It's the Gallagher Press, people.
Gallagher Nation. Vice
Gallagher Nation.
Gallagher Nation. And then
Future Vice Captain.
Stop the world. I want to jump off.
The Gallagher Press is strong. But all right, let's start off the show with what was happening earlier in the week, which is Fabrizio Romano alluding to a mysterious signing of sorts that Chelsea was going to pull off, and we'll reveal what that signing is. Most of you already probably know, but let's discuss starting with this first tweet that I have here. As soon as I pull it up, boom. Boom, let's go, people. Let's get the show on the road. No more Gallagher messing about. Anyways, PYS here saying, new. I think this will be biggest surprise of the window in the final days. The owners and the directors were together today at Cobham to decide the right player. They're discussing many players and are trying to be a secret about it, coming from Fabrizio Romano's podcast. Then, not closing out my window here, this window right here. Next one. So here are some of the speculations. Yes, Musiala would consider Chelsea if they went for him. People were very wishful about Musiala for good reason. Chelsea would love to bring back Musiala, but Bayern are not keen to sell, unsurprisingly, coming from the Secret Scout. Then we have more rumors. Emil Smith-Rowe, Barcelona's Rafinha, and other targets who have been Chelsea's list. But Cole Palmer is now emerging as a serious option, coming from Matt Law. Then we hear later on, breaking news, Arsenal reject initial approach for Chelsea for Emil Smith-Rowe. Arsenal are not keen on selling. Sources have indicated that Chelsea have a willingness to include players as a potential sweetener. That's coming from Sammy Mockbell. I think everyone was just trying to guess at this point. Other players that were linked, Jadon Sancho, Ansu Fati, Rafinha, Ferran Torres on the list of Chelsea attackers that were discussed. And then we have news here from Fabrizio. Barcelona have not received formal approaches from Chelsea for Rafinha or Ferran Torres, but Chelsea have 10 names on their list for the end of the window. And then we have here Chelsea were presented with the opportunity to sign Ansu Fati earlier in the week. And then the last tweet I have where we find out Ansu Fati, Chelsea and Tottenham are two options on the tail for Ansu Fati. But if you haven't already realized, and I don't have the tweet ready, unfortunately, Ansu Fati went on a loan to Brighton. So that's not it. Now, all these players that we just discussed, or that I just mentioned, I wouldn't have been too opposed to some of them. I will say this right now. I wouldn't have been opposed if we got Emile Smith-Rowe. I don't think Emile Smith-Rowe is a bad shout. I don't think Emile Smith-Rowe is a bad shout. Listen, put the Arsenal bias aside. Other than maybe the injuries, I think he's a decent player. Is he the ready-made product? I don't think we're going in for a ready-made product. I think we're going in for a player that can play the number 10 role while we were waiting for Carney to come back, while we're waiting for Nkunku to come back. So I wouldn't think he would have been a bad I don't think he would have been a bad option. Ansu Fati is a good shout as well. I don't think Rafinha would have came. He already kind of, did what Caicedo did to Brighton for us. So he kind of just didn't want the move to Chelsea. So he decided to go for Barcelona. So I don't know if I want him. We tried already. I don't really rate Ferran Torres. And who was the other player I was mentioned there? Sancho. Yeah, please don't give me Sancho. I don't know. What do you guys think about those players that were mentioned?
Bar and Rafinha, I wouldn't be taking any of them for a multiple number of reasons. Let's start with Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres has been replaced by a 16-year-old Yamal in the squad. He's not even getting into the starter squad. They are playing Gavi, Lewandowski, and Yamal in that squad in Barcelona. And even then, even then they are even a terrible squad, right? And then you can move on to Emile Smith-Rowe. Emile Smith-Rowe is getting barely any game time. Apparently, according to a lot of Arsenal fans, he has weight issues too. Like he's not able to maintain his weight or something like that as well. He actually has weight issues. And the other thing about him, about him is that they also said that he's had this really bad groin injury that he just recovered from too. So injury prone, era going on to him too. And his game, we have guys that do his game already. There's no point of bringing someone else similar to him, in my opinion. And then who's the other one? Ansu Fati. I love Ansu Fati. I think he'll actually do really well at Brighton. It's just the injuries, bro. He's been cooked up by Barcelona.
He doesn't really get a lot of minutes. He's normally a bench player by Ahmed at Barcelona. He doesn't.
But that's because of the situation between him and Javi. Javi and him are not on good terms.
Javi's not a fan of him. That's the thing. That's why I didn't really want Fati, because I never hear him really start games.
No. Him and Javi are not on good terms. Essentially, that's why he's not starting over there.
To be honest, I think Fati out of those players is the only one I would have really taken that seriously as a good option. And even then, it's injuries. The talent he has is unreal. I would have taken the risk if it was down to if we didn't get who we got. I would have definitely taken the risk. But apart from Faye, I would not have been for any of those players.
How old is he? He's 22.
Younger.
Oh, is he younger than 22? I've heard of him for a few years
20,
now.
He's 20 years old.
He's 2021. He's 2021, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry about that.
Right. So he's turned 21. Okay. Yeah, he would have been a decent one. He would have been.
But the thing of again, someone like Ansu Fati, who, we're seeing it now. Obviously, I was speaking about this previously in my stream in regards to Barcelona. Pedri's another one now where they've run them into the ground essentially, where they're giving these guys lots of game time. Bang! They start getting injured because they've been playing too much, and then it's the body starts breaking down.
I didn't know he got injured actually, Fatty. I just thought he didn't get to play. I guess we're picking for a slim chicken right now.
Sancho?
I actually wouldn't have minded Sancho.
It's depending what price. It's depending what price, Marshall. If it's 30 million or something, I'd give it a shot, and lower wage because he's on 350k a week at Man United. He would have to
apparently
200
with
at
him
max, 150ish. I think work his way up from there.
Someone was I think I was listening to this on I think it was on a space where I think it was Darker and the other man them, they were talking about the fact that he has some personal issues that he
does, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, him bringing him back to South London, the Kennington's not in South London, to be honest, but just in London in general is not a viable option in my opinion.
All right.
Not true.
I wouldn't have minded it,
Scott,
though.
you want to elaborate? Yeah. Why wouldn't you have minded Jadon Sancho?
Because I don't think he's a bad player. I think there is such a thing as being in a bad situation, being in a bad fit for a team. I think it's similar-ish. Obviously, he's been worse, but I think it's kind of similar to Rafinha in a way. Well, Rafinha's a good player. He's just in a situation he's still doing okay, but he's just not in a team that really fits him or the way he wants to play. And that's the thing. I don't think Sancho's a bad player. In fact, I think he's a good player. I just think he's in an environment and a fit that doesn't work for him. And so I think depending on what their deal could be, I'll put it this way. I'm taking Sancho. Of all those people mentioned, he'd probably be second in the list for me. Behind
Who's
Rafinha.
first? Oh, behind Rafinha. Okay. All right,
Yeah,
fair
I'm
enough.
taking him over Anthony Patrick, taking the injury record, and I'm taking him over Emil Smith-Rowe every day, and you know why.
I think Smith Rowe is actually bottom of my list as well. I didn't
don't rate
rate him.
Smith-Rowe at all.
Yeah,
I didn't rate him when he
I
was
don't
playing.
know.
I'll be completely honest, Marshall. I didn't rate him when he was playing, let alone now when he's not playing.
Interesting. Why is that? Because he was scoring goals and looking good for Arsenal. It just they got Odegaard and they just never looked back.
Exactly, they can have better, and I feel like we can have better and Smith Rowe. I don't think Smith Rowe is good enough for a top 4 or 5 team. He looks okay as a mid-table team. No, he'd be good for a mid-table team, I think, but not for a top team.
I like because Arsenal was kind of mid-table.
And how much would Arsenal demand? I reckon they'd demand 50 million or something, wouldn't they?
I agree. And his injuries are disgusing as well.
He's got 3 years left, literally. Yeah, he's got 3 years left.
They'd demand 50 million easily. It's not worth it. No way. I don't think the one player we just signed for 45 million is worth that price. But I'd rather him over.
Okay, so
he's
that's
not.
where I
You
was.
see, he didn't have any injuries mostly last season. He was available after the World Cup.
No, the problem was,
Andrew.
The problem was he got injured and lost his place.
Yeah,
that was the problem. Is he was playing on the wing,
I understand.
got injured, and then Martinelli took his place, and Martinelli was quality for them. So there was never a point where he could back into.
No, yeah, that's
and then that's the issue.
That's the issue. It's not the injuries before that. Yeah, they were mad. But last season, to be fair, to put it into context, he just couldn't get into the team.
He's not good enough.
And they got knocked out of all the cup competitions really early as well. So they only had the league 1 game a week from about March, I think. So not a chance. But I agree with you. I wouldn't sign him either. I just got rid of an overindulged, overrated English player. I don't want another one. Now someone's going to say, "Yeah, but you just signed Cole Palmer." I don't care. I think Cole Palmer's levels on
his potential's higher.
What's his face? Croydon De Bruyne or whatever they called him.
But the thing is, no one.
Real quick, let me just get onto this topic because I did want to bring it up and I want to see why one over the other when it comes to Smith Rowe and Cole Palmer. I think that's an interesting discussion. So let's bring this up right now. So Fabrizio Romano exclusive, Chelsea add Cole Palmer to the list of talented offensive players being considered to final edition. Chelsea are set to open talks soon as they see Palmer as best solution. It remains to be seen Man City position on Palmer, but Chelsea really want him. Remains to be seen Man City position. Okay, I guess I understand what that's going. Okay. Chelsea's pursuit of Cole Palmer is believed to be driven by Joe Shields. This man's cooking, man. Mauricio Pochettino has signed off on a move for Palmer, with Chelsea hopeful on agreeing a deal with Premier League champions in the next few days, coming from Matt Law. Then we have here Man City are open to selling Cole Palmer, but it remains unclear whether they would be willing to strengthen a potential rival. Okay, yeah, I guess we're rivals. West Ham United have shown interest in Palmer, and Brighton had a £30 million bid rejected earlier this summer. Then we move on to the next tweet here. Another Fabrizio tweet. Cole Palmer said yes to Chelsea mood. He'd be ready to try a new chapter. Up to the clubs now. Negotiations with Man City continue as Chelsea are working on solutions. Fee has to be around £45 million to get it done. Cole's the top target for Chelsea as revealed. This is the mysterious player we were talking about. Breaking. Man City reject a £35 million bid for Chelsea for Cole Palmer, coming from Jacob Steinberg. Then we have right here. Cole Palmer to Chelsea. Here we go. Agreement in principle reached with Manchester City on £40 million deal plus $5 million in add-ons. Exclusive news revealed earlier today. Then quick resolution between clubs and green light from Palmer. Medical test to be booked soon. And that's going to be important to remember. 40 plus 5 was the deal. Cole Palmer has completed medical tests as new Chelsea player. Plan confirmed. Documents being signed between the two clubs and now up to player's side. Then official statement, exclusive story confirmed. Cole Palmer is believed to have been told he will compete for the number 10 position and also right wing, according to Matt Law. And then the final tweet I have on this is that Chelsea intend to deploy Cole Palmer in a similar role to what Phil Foden is used at City in a bid to get the best out of him, given his evident potential. Now, Scott, I did want to forward this back to what you were saying about Cole Palmer and the Emil Smith Rowe comparisons. I mean, and I guess this goes to what Chris was saying. When it comes to Emil Smith Rowe, surely you can say he has more experience, I guess, in playing in the Prem. I feel like Cole Palmer has really just come off the bench mostly. I'm not denying the talent. I think the kid is talented. But yeah, would you disagree with that? I mean, for the price, it doesn't seem like that much of a big difference in price. I feel like we could have gotten like 45 plus 5 for Emil Smith Rowe versus this 40 plus 5.
Can I ask you a question though? Who has more experience in the Prem, Rice or Caicedo?
Rice.
And who's currently playing in our team, and who would we have rather have signed?
Listen, I'm doing Andrew's favorite thing right now. I'm just playing
Devil's
advocate.
advocate.
I'm just playing devil's advocate for reasons I saw yesterday's stream.
The thing with Cole Palmer for me is like,
talk to me.
I don't think anyone is hype, or I don't think anyone's trying to hype this kid up to the point where we think he's going to become, you know, the same level as Phil Foden or the same level as so many other guys. Like, no one's hyping Cole Palmer up, and I think that's the good thing. Like, I think most people think he's a good player, like he's a decent player. I think basically every dude that's came through Chelsea's academy has been a hit. Every youth player, like so far to some extent, which is a good sign. And yeah, just like I think he's a good player. I'm interested to see what he can do. It's interesting based on reports they see him more as a 10/right winger, considering our issues. Basically, the entirety of our season so far have come down the left-hand side.
True.
So I wonder what we can do. Like if the idea is just to move Sterling back, I'm not against it. I just question why you didn't do that from the beginning. Why you just play him as a left winger from the start?
Yeah.
Just because the whole point of what he said in his interview he did recently is that he was like annoyed about under Potter. He kept moving about and he wasn't able to build a chemistry with everyone. Well, now he's built a chemistry with both of our right backs, and we're going to then move him over to the left and get him to try and build chemistry with whoever's playing on the left, because it could be anyone at this rate. But that's a conversation for another day and another kind of that's for Pochettino to work out. But yeah, I like the signing. I do think we need more, and I'm hoping, you know, in the last few minutes or like before it's all said and done, we can get one more attacking player in, depending on what the club wants to do, because I still think we maybe need one more depending on what's going to happen going forward. Yeah, I'm happy with the signing. And think he'll do well. Also, as well, just on the Joe Shields thing, just before you go, like we were all praising Joe Shields and talking about how key he was to go and get certain players like Lavia and whatnot. His talent ID has been on point so far, so we can't be complaining this, that, and the other about this Joe Shields. Like he's been key in us getting a couple of players, including Lavia, including a couple of others. So like we can't really pick and choose until one of his signings or the guys he rates goes wrong. We can't pick and choose who we want to kind of back him with, if that makes sense.
No, I get that completely. Ahmed, I'm going to test to see if you can multitask here. So, what I was going to ask you is, Scott brought this up earlier. Pardon me. Cole Palmer seen as a right wing option and a number 10. He's going to fight for those spots. Does that worry you, considering? Like, I guess my question is, are you concerned with possibly shifting Sterling to the left so we have a left winger and then having Palmer play the right wing, even though I know Sterling's been performing well at the right wing?
I think that's a fair question to ask. Honestly, you know, obviously Madueke
answered
is now
like a
back
proper
to...
politician.
I haven't even started, mate. Nothing.
Go for it.
Honestly, obviously, you obviously got now Madueke that's come back. Obviously, played a full 90 minutes, pretty much like a full
Yeah.
game, barring like a few minutes that he's not played in the game as well. In midweek against AFC Wimbledon, so you've got 2 right wingers now that are literally available. I think as of currently, I think the club are going to try to play him in that 10 role and then have him and Chukwemeka, I think, fight for that spot. I know that we're desperate for someone on the left wing, considering the fact that Chilwell's playing there. But I think the reality of the situation is that, and I've just come to accept it, that your boy Chilwell's going to be playing left wing.
My boy. Why are you saying that, my boy?
No, well, I mean, that might be a boy in it, but
We know who the true. my boy is.
But on a rather, but seriously though, I do think he's probably going to be playing the 10 more than the right wing, in my opinion. I think the club wanted to play the 10 role more than the right wing. Like, I feel like it would be like a secondary position. But also, I think the fact that you need to realize is Madueke as well has been, even though he hasn't gotten injured at Chelsea per se, at PSV he has had 1 or 2 muscle injuries that he's had from time to time. So him playing on the right wing is what's it called? It can also happen, if that makes sense. So.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, is there any reservations about Palmer playing as a 10 from the crew here?
I just haven't seen it. Like,
Yeah,
I just haven't seen it. Like, all of the time, I haven't. No one here has. Like, if you're saying you have, it's just because you're a weird dude. No one's watching under 21s football. No one's watching England under 21s football. Like, you're watching comps and highlights. No one's actually going and watching games. It's just a weird person. So all we've seen him play is striker a little bit, and then on the wings. Like, none of us have seen him play the 10 because he's not played the 10.
He played on left against Chelsea, right? As I remember, he's more
Yeah,
left.
he's played off both wings, and I think last season he came like in a couple of cup competitions. He played as a striker, or came on as a striker in like the last few minutes. So all we've seen him play as is a winger primarily. So I just don't really know how he's going to transition to a 10. I'm not saying he can't, because he obviously apparently has done for the under 21s. Yes, yeah, that's your weird, bro. That's what I'm saying. Only weird people are watching under 21s games. But yeah, so like he can obviously play there. We just haven't seen it, so I've got nothing to go off. I'm not watching under 21s games. I've got better things to do in my life, respectfully.
Basically he's saying, that you're.
That's what I'm saying, bro. This is a sad one.
We have too many under 21 watchers in this fan base, man.
Hey, yo, relax. Okay, that was crazy. That actually the way he said that was crazy.
To be
I
fair,
could've said worse.
international football, I don't think there's like much wrong with it, because normally the tournaments are when no other football's going on, but like club football under 21s is a little bit, that is a bit dodgy.
Yeah, man.
Maybe you want to be a future scout person. I don't know. Like, if you want to be that, then.
Man, the only time I'm listening or watching kids, literally is Football Manager. You know what I mean? On the kids. That's what I'm doing.
Pause.
What? When you're watching kids? Excuse
Oh,
me?
the words that come out of your mouth a minute ago.
Pause.
Don't say
Pause.
Pause. It doesn't sound so good, that don't.
Just let everyone know, this will be the last time Ahmed appears on Casually FC, pending an official review of
YouTube. Our channel is currently being taken down as we speak.
Yeah, probably. Pardon, Ahmed. It's your plan, man. Take all our subscribers with you.
Let's get all back on here. Oh my days.
I was gonna say though, wouldn't you guys rather like I know it's not like really the situation, like it's not like that, but like wouldn't you rather like Kudos or even maybe Rafinha?
Yeah, I wanted Kudos,
like
but
over Palmer. Wait, Kudos didn't want Chelsea. You said
no, we didn't go for him.
We didn't.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. I wish Chelsea went for Kudos instead, because Kudos is left-footed like Palmer. He plays on the right wing like Palmer. He can. I don't know if Kudos can play on the left, but he can definitely. So I honestly don't understand why Chelsea didn't go for that, because I'm not like a huge fan of like us getting Palmer. I think he's talented and all that, but like we haven't seen much minutes of him. Only game I've truly watched Palmer was the Super Cup, I think. Yeah, like that, and he played really well there. Like he got man of the match as well. Like, and I think he scored his own number in that game. But I would rather like someone like Kudos, especially because they're the same. Well, Kudos is actually maybe a little bit cheaper, right? Because we bought Palmer for 45 million, right? Pounds, and West Ham bought him for 45 million euros. So it's a little bit cheap actually as well. So I don't understand. Maybe it's the project we're building. That's why we didn't get him. I don't understand. But I'd rather Kudus, but I'm like,
No, I just-
at least we couldn't get. In all fairness, we couldn't get at least. We got stopped.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. We didn't. You can't really tell because it's not as if we went in and bidded for Kudus or like.
Yeah.
It's not come out that we bid for Kudus.
Well, I heard reports that
have
we
no
did.
idea.
No.
We tried to put in a last minute
No, we
negotiation
never
or
bid
something.
for Kudus.
We got us.
No, we just like maybe personal terms.
for
I think.
him. We agreed personal
terms.
terms with him, I think, but that's it. And then we stopped. That was like a month
You know-
ago.
Yeah. Do you remember when it was we only signed 2 players and like we were looking at attackers and like we were hearing rumors about breaking Chelsea are close to agreeing person to Kudus, and that was pretty much it. And
Yeah,
people were complaining because there was no Caicedo, no Lavia at the time, and then once Caicedo Lavia happened, it just died.
I mean, yeah. Here's the thing, though. Like, and I feel like a lot of the Chelsea fan base fall for this trap of like, it's as simple as going, putting the bid, and initiating the conversation, and all of a sudden the player is yours. Like, there's the player side of things, there's the club side of things, and then there's the negotiation side of things. I think when it comes to like the players that you just listed, Chris, now. I don't have the tweet, but I swear there was a tweet recently, shortly after the Kudus signing, from PYS or the Blue Dodgers, saying that we did try to go in for a last-minute bid for Kudus, but Kudus was not interested anymore. He had decided on West Ham. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, you're right. It was by a Tier 1 West Ham.
The ex-West Ham employee, yeah. I believe they said something about that. I just don't recall if it was a bid. I don't think it was a bid, but I think it was just speaking personal terms. So at that point, Chris, Kudus didn't want Chelsea anymore. So is that really our fault? No. Now with Rafinha, we tried to go for Rafinha. Rafinha was basically 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out. And as soon as Barcelona came saying, hey, we got a lever for you, he goes to Barcelona. So it's like, what are we supposed to do at that point? I mean, I don't know what other player you just named off that you wanted to bring to the club.
But I was gonna say Kudus. If we actually submit like the same like bid or 40 million euros plus 5 add-ons, maybe Kudus would. I'm pretty sure Kudus would rather play for Chelsea's project over West Ham's. Like Chelsea's a bigger club and everything, like, and we offer higher wage in West Ham could as well. I'm very certain that Kudus would actually accept it more.
With Kudus, that he like. I'm not saying this is what he wanted for like us or even West Ham, but like. I'm pretty sure Kudus' next move was thinking almost as a stepping stone as well. And West Ham is a good stepping stone if in the future he wants to go to an even larger club than Chelsea. Like, which
like Real Madrid or something.
You know what I would say? You know what I'd say to you, Chris? Think about Brian. He was meant to be going Brian. He'd already agreed. He had agreed, like, you know, the clubs had agreed the fee. They had all essentially agreed personal terms, but he wanted a release clause in his contract. That was the only thing, right? Why would Kudus want a release clause in his Brighton contract? Because he clearly believes that like after he bought out 1 season at Brighton, he can go away to a bigger club. So that's the plan for him, innit? And you've seen with West Ham. They sold, what was it called? Rice. They were very close to selling Paqueta if he didn't have those gambling situation. So West Ham, they will sell their players for the right price.
Wait, how much is the buyout clause that you're saying for Kudus? Because I don't even actually.
Is there
we
buyout
don't know
clause
what
in the
it
West
was.
Ham contract?
Oh, there's not for that one.
No.
I didn't read.
okay.
I didn't read if there was. I didn't read there was.
No.
one.
I don't think there is one in the West Ham.
No,
one,
it's due to West Ham's transfer policy being different to Brighton's as well. That's what
exactly.
meant. It's like West Ham are more lenient on.
Well, another thing I would have done is like maybe actually I don't know if we could have waited actually for like attacker for January or something, because like we're relying on Chilwell as left wing, so I maybe understand a little bit why we brought Palmer, because he can play on the left as well and the right, or Sterling can play on the left and Palmer can play on the right. So I understand it, because maybe we don't rate Mudryk or Poch doesn't rate Mudryk or something. He wants a different attacker.
He definitely doesn't.
Yeah,
he definitely doesn't.
so far it doesn't look that way.
Can I ask you a question?
And I'll be real. Like,
Okay,
that transfer, by the way, I'll say that transfer, by the way, every single day since that, like this window, every single day that transfer just looks worse and worse. Every single day that transfer looks worse.
Every time I watch Leao play.
Yeah.
It's not even that, bro. The Leao thing, the fact
Yeah,
of
I
the
want Leon.
the Kvadadona news that came out a day or two ago about the release clause that they want in the contract. Like when I'm watching what's their name, PSG signed Colin Moane, who could have played there as well for just a little bit more. Like every single day I'm looking at that move, and it's like every move they've made pretty much has been a hit. That has been a fat L so far.
Scott, do you know what's crazy? Yeah, as well.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not-
can't legislate for 6 months later. That's the unfortunate thing. I mean,
Yeah.
Kvadadona was going to put the release clause in his new contract 6 months ago. Then you know, I don't know what the situation would have been, but can't legislate for that. We just got to hope maybe by some I don't know, but it works out. I don't know. But, you know, we'll be laughing
Chris,
if it does.
this is so you can sleep at night. You and Kai can sleep at night knowing we try to get Kudus. It has now been reported that Chelsea had made a late play for Kudus, but Ghanaian rejected the chance to sign for the Blues as his heart was set to join West Ham. This is according to ex-West Ham employee who revealed Chelsea's hijack attempt was rebuffed by Kudus himself. So we tried.
So basically,
What else
we
can
went
do?
in. Basically, we went in and said, like, we want you to. Are you open to joining us? And it was too far down the line with West Ham because no one says we put in a bid. So that's what it is. Unlike the Liverpool thing, you know what I mean. So we went to the player first, unlike Liverpool. So.
Yeah. Also,
That's fine, man,
biggest
no
thing
problem with
for Kudus,
We left it too late.
or one of the biggest things for Kudus, considering how many injury-prone players we've done so far, I think we probably want to stay away from Kudus in that respect. His injury
Yes, he does.
I did
You're
hear
right.
really bad.
Yeah.
He had that
Freak
freak
up there.
rib injury the season before that. He had like a meniscus injury that was really bad too. Like, yeah, man, it's not looking good, bro, for the brother.
Did he play tonight? He was on the bench. Or something?
He came on at 90 minutes, I think. He came on at the very end, Andrew, like just 5 minutes. So he didn't really play.
I hate those substitutions, man.
But you know, bringing it back to Palmer, like, listen, like even if we got Kudus, like I'm not upset with this Palmer move. I think there's potential. Like, other than maybe, I guess you can say Ferran Torres, I can't think of many people that have come from Man City that have really just been flops. Like, I don't think, especially when it comes to youth from Man City, I don't think City recruit trash players. From what I can tell, like Lavio's highly rated. Palmer's been highly rated. Yeah, I mean, look, you see what Foden's doing.
This summer. They sold some dude
Sorry?
who was they sold some dude to Ajax this summer who was a winger who West Ham tried to buy but they couldn't. Who was the top scorer of the Premier League? Yeah, Borges was the top scorer of the Premier League 2 team last season, and he was also the best Premier League 2 player, which is also what Lavia was the season before he joined West Ham.
Windows closed. The window is closed. The window is officially closed.
Tic tac.
It's done.
Tic tac.
All right.
Since the window's closed, I'm not sure if he's going to ask Marshall, but how would you guys rate the window? I'm not sure if you want to do that.
I mean, actually, hold the reservations.
Yeah.
Because we will do that before we do our Premier League predictions.
Oh, okay.
We'll rate the window.
Oh, I can't wait to hear Chris's. Oh, this is my favourite bit.
I haven't thought about it too much with the window,
Oh,
but yeah,
Everton 8th pick. Beautiful.
Jesus, forgot about that.
So
You're a criminal, Chris.
Ray
Mine's more realistic this time.
I'm willing to give Sancho time. You know, maybe I don't think Sancho's been a complete flop. We'll see what happens with him. He's had a lot of personal stuff happening, so you never know. Maybe this season he turns around, but it's like what Scott said earlier. I think it's would you say, Scott, it's a misunderstood system for him? Something
It's
along those
a
lines?
wrong fit. It's a wrong fit.
Wrong fit. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, there's
should've
factors
gone
when
back
it
to
comes to
City.
that.
You showed him about
Yeah,
to City.
I don't think City wanted him though, did they?
Yeah, that's the thing. They didn't want him, yeah.
Yeah, but like we've seen it before. Kind of like just off the top of my head, Sebastian Haller's one. Like at West Ham, the fit wasn't good because the manager and whatnot. But he's
True.
hit at every other club he's been at. Literally every other club he's been at, he's hit. West Ham is the outlier in that.
That's actually very true. No, I
The wrong
completely
fit.
forgot about. Yeah, and sometimes that's just the issue. But I rate the signing. I think he's going to do good things. I'm not saying he's going to be the next world-class player or he's going to overtake in Kuku's position, but you got to also take into consideration people that it's not like we're missing players in those positions. We have players in the position. And when you look at our starting lineup, like without injuries considered, then the thing that people are complaining about, which is experience, there's plenty of experience in that lineup. So we just need to be rational when it comes to these signings. Yes, Cole Palmer, 50 million. Yes, it's a little overpriced, but there's potential for him to be good. And he's competing for a spot that is going to be given to a player who we know is going to get that spot, in Nkunku or Raheem Sterling in the right wing. So when these players go out with injuries, which we're bound to get more injuries, then, we need someone to take that place. So I think it's smart that the board considered like, hey, we have players that are going to come back. Let's just not think about what we're missing. Let's think about what we're going to get back come the next few weeks and months. So I think it's a smart signing. I think it's better that than overpaying for like a João Felix, I would say, and being stuck with a player that could potentially get frustrated. And we saw how a frustrated dressing room affected our team last season. Let's just avoid that if we can. All right, let's go on to the next topic that I wanted to bring up, which is the collapse of the Cucurella deal. Yeah, this happened, and I think I understand why, but you guys can definitely correct me if I'm wrong when I get to that part. But all right, let me pull up the tweet and let's discuss what happened here. And yeah, a few of you guys are not happy about it. Cry me a river. So, Man United have submitted a proposal to sign Marc Cucurella from Chelsea. CFC responded, talks ongoing. Offer is initial loan plus clubs discussing various parameters around that. Man United like 25-year-old for Ten Hag's system. Oops. Candidate, he's top candidate as things stand. This is earlier in the week. Then United view Cucurella as a good fit for Eric Ten Hag's system. He is the number one choice. Breaking: Chelsea have proposed to Manchester United a £7 million loan fee for Cucurella. Negotiation is required, and United have other options. So there are other options. I don't have a tweet about it, but I'm pretty sure it was Tagliafico, Sergio Reguilon. They had Marcos Alonso on that list as well, and they even had
It was those guys.
Well, there was another one too that they were considering bringing back. Like it was a really old.
No,
one
it was Reguilon, Tagliafico, Alonso was the four.
Mhm.
Okay.
Literally, I only saw four.
Weren't they also considering what's his face, the left back that played for Sunderland, was in our Champions League team in 2012? Or no?
Bertrand.
Yeah, weren't they considering Bertrand?
Bertrand.
Or was that a rumor?
There was
Light
Okay.
links, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Serious.
So that was another rumor out there, but I guess that didn't make the list. So United have reached an agreement in principle with Marc Cucurella on personal terms. The player has given the green light. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano. And then I believe this is where Cucurella is close to joining Manchester United, but the final fee is less than £7 million loan fee, which Chelsea wanted. And I think this is where things start to turn around. There we go. Marc Cucurella to Man United is currently complicated after his appearance last night, David Ornstein reports. And this is referring to, we didn't do a review because we couldn't really watch the game. I saw glimpses from the game. I watched the game from a live stream, like from a live stream on Instagram in vertical. Like it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
It was not happening. And I saw a few of those reviews. It was awkward. So we weren't going to do a review, so we didn't go over the AFC Wimbledon game. 2-1. Chelsea didn't play their best game, but it was mostly the reserve team. Still not excusable, but we'll go on. Marc Cucurella did play that game, and apparently that hindered this move. So then we go into some details. Manchester United wanted the option to terminate Cucurella's loan in January. They now turned attention to Reguilon. I understand where they're coming from, and I'll go into detail in a minute. So then United, come on,
Mr. X, work. Come on, Mr. X. There we go.
Come on, Elon. All right.
No,
United
but
has submitted a proposal to sign. United submitted a proposal to Marc Cucurella, but after he played for Chelsea in the Carabao Cup win against AFC Wimbledon on Wednesday night, they are now actively exploring a move for Sergio Reguilon. And then here it is, Sergio Reguilon. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place with Tottenham. I didn't realize he was still at Tottenham. That's crazy. On loan deal. Understand medical tests are taking place right now. There will be a clause to break loan deal in January. Marc Cucurella deal off. What'd you guys say?
He's a
I said
shit
he was
player,
on loan
Reguilon.
last year.
He was
Yeah,
on loan.
Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, he's not very good.
Atletico Madrid he was on?
Okay.
much
So I thought he was on loan to Spurs, and then Spurs.
Nope.
No,
I guess Spurs purchased him
no.
full out.
Danny Rose got sold for Reguilon, and Reguilon is a shit player too. So they look for another one. They got Perisic or whatever. Now they got a different one.
So here's the last tweet here. This is actually clubs could also test Chelsea's resolve for Ian Maatsen after Marco Cucurella's loan switch to Manchester United broke down. So I believe what happened is that, okay, for one, I think they wanted a January clause because they understand that Luke Shaw is not going to be out for that long, and by the time
Malassia's going back December.
exactly, so they're going to have 3 left backs if they did the loan for the whole season. Yeah. That obviously was going to be a deal breaker there. But I believe the reason it broke down because of this January loan back that I think they originally intended that the whole time is that because Cucurella made his appearance for Chelsea in that AFC Wimbledon game, it would have been Chelsea to United. Cucurella from Chelsea to United, and then United transferring Cucurella back to Chelsea. So it would have been 2 transfers for the same player to the same team. So it just ruined the whole deal. The deal collapsed.
He can't play for more than 2 teams. Can't play for more than 2 teams in one season.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to do the January transfer because then we want to send him on loan for a full season.
Yeah.
And not have him back. That was the thing.
And also, if the full season was there, it would have worked out fine.
Exactly. So if they send him back in January, Scott, I think you're on some type of delay, bro, or something's wrong with your Wi-Fi or something. It's
Might want to
weird. The thing is, if he comes back in January, we then can't send him out on loan again. Because he would have played for 2 teams. So, and also I think their first initial loan offer was something like 2 million or something like that, and we wanted close to like 7. Because we wanted him on the full loan. So,
Yeah. So it just complicated everything, and like, it sounds better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds better now.
Right.
That's good.
So like, it's like. I would have liked the loan for him simply so he could get his confidence back, maybe get away from the toxicity of our fan base. Because apparently, I'm on delay now.
No.
Okay.
Divock Origi and Sengari confirmed to Nottingham Forest just right now. Just confirmed their transfer to Forest. Sengari and Origi.
Bro, these men have bought like 40 players since they got promoted.
Yeah, man. Yeah. They brought 40 players.
They bought like 8 players this week.
No, they've got a whole squad. The whole squad is 40 players.
Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. They're both to be expected to be completed in time. That's all. So what's happened is Forest are put in the papers to say that initiate they're going to do the deal before the 11 p.m. deadline, which is fine, which means they'll get a bit more leeway to complete the deals afterwards. So that's looking like
Jesus Christ, talk about a bloated squad.
I think I saw something saying they've got like 12 midfielders.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's insane. I hope...
All I know is that most of these guys can't play against us tomorrow.
Yeah, but actually, that's like... Obviously, Origi can't, Sangare can't, Dominguez they signed today, he can't.
I don't think Hudson-Odoi can either, right? He wasn't.
No, Joe can't.
I hope he is.
Why?
Hudson-Odoi playing against us, that'd be alright. He can't score. He can't score for shit.
Wow.
You say that? Hang on.
The guy played in the Bundesliga and scored 1 goal. Come on, like I'm not a fan of that guy.
Chris, you say that we are the same team that allowed David McGoldrick to break his duck. My man hadn't scored a Premier League goal. He didn't score a Premier League goal until he met us.
Different season, man.
Yeah. Plus that guy from West Brom as well.
Charity FC. We are literally Charity FC.
Oh,
Chris.
Pereira.
What season it is.
Pereira.
We turned a new.
What's his name? Vinicius.
Vinicius.
Carlos Vinicius. We gave Carlos Vinicius his first ever Premier League goal last season.
When a team or a player wants to break their duck, they always do it against us. Yeah,
Nah,
like
not
What you're
Southampton
saying
last
is
year.
that break their duck. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
it's an English.
It's a saying. Like
That's
like,
English. That's
a duck
some
leaving
English
good-
slang. What are you breaking your duck? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Poor
What?
duck.
You never heard of that?
Leave him alone. We're just snapping the duck's neck.
What the
Same
hell?
shit.
Not literally.
Hey, why do you turn it weird, man? Why?
You guys come out with the sayings, not
That's a
me.
normal
Not
phrase.
in
That's a
China.
normal phrase. You're the one that made it
It's
weird.
a normal phrase, bro.
It's a weird phrase. Breaking the duck. Oh my god. I
Hey,
mean,
shut
yeah,
up, man. You
whatever.
don't spell colour properly. Don't speak to us about our language.
That's true.
All right.
Once you spell
Colour,
colour
yeah.
properly, then you can have a go at her. And it's sorry, it's what's it? I'll carry on, Mark. Thanks, man.
That's nice.
The cricket term. Okay, it is what it is. But
Patriotism, not patriotism. That's what it is.
patronizing, not patronizing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh my days. But where are we? I completely lost train of thought.
No idea.
You got stuck
We
on
were just
ducks.
talking about Marco Cucurella. Yeah. So I mean, another thing that I would have liked for the move would have been, I think it would have given Ian Maatsen a clear chance to get more play time. Even though he should be getting it regardless, but
I didn't want United to
This
have
is what-
Cucurella.
This drives me insane with our fan base, and in general our fan base. They're not related in any way.
you don't think so?
Like they're literally not. Where's Maatsen played for Chelsea?
Left wing.
Well, okay. Hear me out.
The bring
I
10.
figured my theory
Maybe.
was that since we don't have Cucurella, then Pochettino would be forced to play Chilwell in the left back position, and then that gives an opportunity for
Sorry,
Maatsen to play in the left wing.
Based on
I
what?
really think it would have
our left
persisted with
back? Who's been our left back so far in the league?
Colwell.
Oh,
There we go.
There we go. So what? They're not related in
just-
any way. This is
That
what
can't
people
be
don't understand.
sustainable, though. I
I
just don't think
don't
that's
think it's
gonna
going
be
to stay like that all
sustainable.
season either.
I didn't say it was. I did not say it was.
Yeah.
I'm saying that when it comes to our manager and what he sees for the squad, Maatsen is not seen as a left back. Our left right now is Colwell, who's a centre back. I mentioned this in a group chat I was in, and I find it funny. We started the summer with 4 left backs, and somehow our starting left back is Colwell, who's a centre back.
I was gonna say,
They're not
I didn't want Cucurella to.
They're not related in any way, shape, or form. Cucurella and Maatsen have nothing to do with each other, and anything that comes out saying they do is bollocks. Because if, like, this idea that I saw something today that came out saying, "Oh, it's Cucurella's transfer, Maatsen, chance at left back." Like, why is it Cucurella's chance? If Maatsen was going to play left back, why would Poch not have played him there already? Tried him there in pre-season. He didn't in pre-season. He played him as a winger or a 10.
Yeah.
I mean, with less players though, like I don't know. I mean, I see where you're coming from, and I think you're right. But there's a part of me that thinks that like it would have just given an opportunity for at least in training or try, because Poch is eventually going to change it up. I think we're going to get to a point with this lineup, with this formation, where like Poch has to change it up. I think, and to be honest, and you guys can disagree with me on this one, I think part of the reason that we've been doing this 3 at the back hybrid, 4 at the back formation is because we don't have Nkunku. It's because we're lacking that, the Nkunku slot. Yes, we compromise with oh my god, I'm drawing a blank on his name. We compromise with Chukwuemeka, but I think at the end of the day, like Nkunku would have give us more solidity to do the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3.
We're playing the 4-3-3 now. Like, this is a whole other conversation. We're going into a whole other tangent. But say Cucurella plays in the team, where does he play?
He would definitely have played at left back position.
Well, no.
Like,
Where would Cucurella, sorry. Where would Nkunku play if he was fit?
Oh, as a 10, yeah.
So he's playing left wing.
As a 10 or a left wing, but I think it would have been 10.
No. So who is playing left wing then?
I probably would have been Chilwell at this rate.
Chilwell.
Either it would have been Chilwell or it would have been Maatsen.
Also, I'm sorry, like Nkunku's a good player. He's nowhere near good enough, but his injury caused you to change your entire shape and formation. Your team should never, unless you've got an Mbappe, a Neymar, a Messi, a Ronaldo level talent, and I'm talking in their peak, that you should never ever have one player change your entire fortune and shape
That's fair.
and start playing people out of position. Like, I don't buy that for a second. We're still in the last game against Luton, we had Enzo as the 10. So our shape hasn't changed. It's literally not changed. It's just our manager's doing stupid shit and playing Chilwell at left wing for some reason. Like, the person that we need to be looking at more than anything is Mudryk, and whether he is good enough right now. Obviously, this is nothing about in the future. I'm not writing him off, but whether he's good enough now, because if he was good enough, he should be starting on the left wing. Or you start Sterling on the left and Madueke on the right, or whatever. Or you find some other way to work it. But
I just find
like,
it
I don't
so
buy
bizarre
this injury.
I just find it so bizarre that. Yeah.
Chilwell's still starting left wing. If everyone's fit, Chilwell's still starting left wing. And if he's not, it's Nkunku starting left wing, which I thought we bought him to play 10. So the only change would have been Nkunku Chilwell.
I think there was one game in the preseason where we saw Chilwell play as like a left wing. But for most of that preseason, we had left back and a right back. Like I don't know. It just seems odd to
We're
me.
playing Mudryk and stuff. Like Mudryk is playing left wing. That's why.
What were you saying, Will?
Yeah.
Our shape isn't too dissimilar to, as Scott said, our shape is not too dissimilar to pre-season at all. So I don't think we really change it anyway.
No, we play 4 at the back. It's 4 at the back. It's not 3 at the back.
Yeah.
It's 4 at the back.
Yeah, but I'm
it is a
referring to
free
white Chilwell. Yeah.
It's a 3 at the back in possession, which is what we did in pre-season. The shape, someone mentioned this on Twitter the other day, and more I think about it's true. Like, we haven't actually changed the shape. What's changed is the personnel, is the fact that Potter's got personnel playing in wildly different positions. Like, before we had a centre-back partnership in pre-season of Colwell and Silva, and then we had Chilwell left-back and Gusto.
So question for you, Scott.
All we've done is put Disassi in and shifted Silva and Colwell over one, and then Chilwell further up and taking whoever was the left wing out. That's all we've done. Do you think if
Nkunku was fit right now, he'd be playing left wing then? Because we did see a little bit of that in preseason.
You played one
eventually, but
how can you tell? Because
that's how he got hurt.
You can't tell whether he would be playing left wing or not. I don't know. I'm hoping it's more of when he gets everyone fit, not excluding Nkunku. Let's say everyone fit who's going to return in the next few weeks after international break. Then we see more of a system. You get Reece James back. You get whatever you think an option there with Mudryk. You get Lavia back. You get Madueke more minutes. You get Palmer more minutes. Stuff like that. Maybe he'll be to flush it out a bit more, and then we'll see like a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, something like that. Because I think, see, the thing about me is that I think he wants at the moment about Nkunku. I believe he wants to play more of a system like we did against, because that was more of a 4-2-3-1 with that system there, and he's kept Ugo Chukwu. Everyone thought he was going to go out online. Kept Ugo Chukwu. So that would mean to me that while Nkunku's out, he's going to maybe want to play the 3 midfielders ahead of him, like Lavia, Enzo, and Caicedo, more and keep Ugo Chukwu on the bench or in and out, stuff like that. And maybe then we get more of a more fluid system. We get an actual winger out there, an actual attacker out there. It remains to be seen. That's the thing. Moira's now gone out on loan. I don't think he's ever going to get in. I'd love to see Maatsen given a go on the left, no matter what the system is, just to see how he performs. I don't think it will happen tomorrow. I just don't. It's the last game before international break. So, it's very strange the way he's gone from playing that system to playing this sort of the same system on the left. That's what it looks like. It doesn't. I believe it's still a 4 at the back for me. Out possession, in possession, whatever you want to say. Because I think Cole's not really tucked in. He is out there on the left. Out wide and on the left there. So, I would love to see if Chilwell goes left back or not. I don't really care at this moment in time, but I need to see someone else out there because Chilwell is not. I think he's a better wing back. So.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, time will tell. If we're getting results, then no one's going to say anything. But as soon as we stop then we're looking at the formation. We're looking at the manager. We're looking at, Cho on the left wing and questioning that. But moving forward, let's go ahead and touch on some of these quick here we goes that we got today. So, ladies and gents, if you didn't know, today we got a here we go for Mason BURSTOW. So I'll pull up the tweet right now. Here we go. So yesterday, I think, it was yesterday, I found this tweet here. If AC Milan fails to land Mehdi Taremi, Jesus, they will evaluate Mason BURSTOW of Chelsea. And then today we got the here we go for Mason BURSTOW to be joining Sunderland on loan. So good for him. I think he needed the move. He wasn't going to get much play time here at Chelsea. I know he played a few minutes here and there. He played in the Carabao Cup. He made a sub appearance against West Ham, and that's about it. Then he played a bit in the preseason, played that game against Fulham, I'm pretty sure. Other than that, I mean, I think the player still needs to develop. I don't know if you guys have any opinions you want to add on that. I think it's a good loan.
It's a good move. Yeah, I think it's a good move.
I was actually worried
now.
These players weren't to go. Go ahead, Scott.
I'm just saying, I'm looking at who is on their team right now. Jesus, there's some people on this team I didn't realize were there. I'm just seeing how many guys he's got to compete with. It looks like he's got a couple of guys to compete with. Got some dude there. Yeah, there's a few guys, a couple of other strikers he has to compete with. I don't know what system they play. Play like a two up top or one up top, whatever. What I will say about this is they... Say again?
I was about to say, I might be wrong. I think Sunderland sold their number one striker to Southampton today. I might be wrong.
Let me check. What was I say as well? The thing I will say as well with this is they probably must see that Brozier is further along in his recovery than they probably initially thought, because he's literally our only backup striker. Like, there's no one else that can play striker in our team. Like
Tony in January.
Or they've got a backup Tony in January. Like that's the options. Because like our options right now are Jackson, who I'm fine with, and Brozier, who we don't know where he's at, and he's obviously going to be gone for a month and a half after January. So I think or in January or February or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So he's obviously going to be gone. They must have a plan. They either must see Brozier is further along in his development and he can contribute, or they've got Washington as well.
That's
they
right.
must again see maybe he is good.
Right,
True, I forgot about
They
him.
see he's good enough to be involved. They might see him further along in his development than BURSTOW was. They might be able to get a visa, for example, see that he can contribute. Or like Andrew said, there's a plan for Tony in January, or it's an amalgamation of a couple of them. Maybe they see what can help up until January, and in January we reassess, get Tony. Washington maybe goes on loan, whatever.
Yeah, it's very possible.
I've seen a vision of it. Tony and Blue.
I will definitely be. They'll definitely be the biggest story lingering about during the season until we get to January. It's going to be Tony and a lot of stuff involving that. The next target that we target, I should say, the next player.
You put a bet on.
The next player that we will be loaning out is Bashir Humphreys. He's another one that got a loan. I hope you got your bet on that one. Bashir Humphreys has agreed to join Swansea on a loan, according to Nazar Kinsella. Good. I think this player has potential. I've seen some good moments. I think there's still a bit of a raw player in there, so I think he does need time to develop his skills as a defender, but I don't think he was too bad in the preseason. There's potential for this player, and hey, if it doesn't work out at Chelsea, I think we can get a good price for him in the future for another
solid 20
another
million.
team. Even more, Chris. I think we could, if he does well in his loan for Swansea, we're talking 35-40 mil.
I don't know about 40, man. Like Lewis Hall was, I think his ceiling was a lot higher than Humphreys or something like that, or Maatsen as well. We almost sold that Maatsen for 30 million. Like I think he'd be like 20 million or something player. Swansea Championship. Oh, you agree with that?
Yeah, I also think as well he's someone that, like, with all of these guys that we've got in our team, whether it be him, BURSTOW, some of the other guys, like there's a chance as well, depending on how it goes. Like, based on what we've seen so far, right? I would not say I've been massively impressed with Disasi in terms of what we bought him for. I would not say he's been an upgrade on who we had. He may turn out to be a guy who, in a year or two's time, he's not really hitting the way we want. You know, we flip him for kind of what we signed him for, and Humphreys takes his spot, depending on his development. Like, the pathway should be there. But if not, yeah, he has a good loan. You sell him for 30 mil, 35 mil. Use that on some other dude.
Be very lucky to get 35, unless he's actually decent, like Marshall says.
Say that. We got 20 mil from Gahey.
Wait, we got Gahey. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I guess we've got 20 or so for him.
I reckon we'll get 20 as well. I think.
It's good. It's good business. So it's not a bunch of youth players like 20 or upwards. Anyway, it's good business. Like it makes.
I mean, that's why we're bringing him in.
I see him as like a
100%.
potential like sell him to like another Premier League club or another club somewhere else. But like I don't see him like I don't see a future for him in Chelsea's centre backs, because we got a lot of good centre backs that we have apparently. I guess like, and even Fofana next season, if he hopefully he doesn't get another injury.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Because Fofana is very talented. He's a talented centre back. I think I rate him highly, but his injuries is costing him heavily right now. So I see Humphreys as a potential seller. May sound bad, but
So, what I'd say is like all pathways are there and all options are there, right? Like we saw him in pre-season. I don't think he looked overawed. I don't think he looked out of place really for the most part. Like I wouldn't say like BURSTOW. I think I'll be real. He's looked out of place in this Chelsea team so far. You can tell he's not as far in his development as some other players. He looks out of place. So alone is, and I'll be real. BURSTOW is what I'm looking at in 2 years' time. We might just sell him for 30 mil. Like stay Washington and hit in. He's doing sick. I'm trying to think who else we have that can play there. Like say that guy we signed from Southampton, right? That Jimmy, whatever his name is. Say he's developing a bit more. BURSTOW could be one we sell for 30 mil. I think Humphreys is slightly further along. So
don't
I think
forget Datro Fofana too.
I think BURSTOW will go as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Fofana.
Datro, I think he's
done really well. The fact
makes a lot. Yeah, I can't lie. I think
he's been good. I think he's been their starting striker as well, because I just found out today they got rid of another guy, one of their other strikers, Barisha.
Let me tell you right now.
They got rid of him. And
let me tell you right now, if we sign Tony and he bangs, Fofana's getting sold next summer.
Well, Fofana's been playing
unfortunately,
off the left for Berlin.
He'll get sold no matter what, because if Nico Jackson plays well and if we get Tony plays well, Fofana's getting sold next summer.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. This might be unpopular. If I rate Tony 80 million, I'm staying away. I'm not gonna lie. That is crazy.
He's the second best. He's the second best striker in the league.
No, I disagree. But yeah,
who's better than him?
Isak is way
no,
better.
right now I'd say he is. I'd say right.
No. Isak is not a number 9. He's a wide player. 9. You saw that last week against Liverpool. He is not a number 9.
Mixture both.
He is a wide player.
Isak just runs channels out wide. He's a number 9. He's been a number 9 his whole career.
No, he's not. He's not a number 9. We saw it. He's better out wide. We saw it last season. He's better out wide.
Can't he be both?
No, he can't. He's Rashford. He's Rashford.
No,
he's not. He's rubbish in the middle. He's not good in the middle. I've seen him. He's not good in the middle. He's better out wide. He's more effective. Ivan's a better player than him. He's better.
I would say I disagree with you a little bit. I think he's better out wide. I don't think he's terrible down the middle. I just think he's better out wide. I think he's better. I think he can listen. Or middle. I think he's good in the middle. He's just better out wide.
I don't think.
I agree with you though.
I don't think the thing with Rashford. I don't think he could apply himself if he wanted to. He just doesn't want. He's too lazy to do it in the middle.
Right.
I think Ivan Toney is just the best. Listen, Ivan Toney's underrated. You watch. There's one performance, and he didn't even performance away at Liverpool. The way he handled Van Dijk and Konate at the back by himself is a performance to die for. It is.
By the way, Andrew, I rate Tony highly. By the way, I don't want to pay with his situation. I don't want to go anywhere near him for that money personally.
80 million would be a snip. Absolute snip.
80 million. I can't disagree.
I also do agree. I think he's the second best.
I will say this.
Second best striker. Second best striker. Listen, I'm not saying when I say second best, it's
not by the numbers.
Yeah, it's not hard. I'm not saying.
I think
it's like that.
I think
I don't disagree that he's a great player. I've rated Tony for a while, by the way. Like literally, and I'm not saying he's bad at all. For his situation at the moment, for not playing for 6 months, 80 million. Yeah, I don't think he's worth 80 million pounds. That's just my opinion.
I think he's worth
he
about
is.
60.
I think you could get him for like 60. I think you could get him
If you can get him for
65
60, sure,
grand.
100%.
I think you could. So I think you could work. We could like offer them if like Broho doesn't work out or something, like you could sweeten the deal with that.
Give them Lukaku. Send Lukaku their way.
Oh, brilliant! Lukaku.
Yeah, there you go.
Like Lukaku, you can play over here.
Adam, to answer your question, how about you guys? I've kind of come to terms that even if there's a player I like that is a good player, we've seen it with Chalobah, whether Scott believes or not, we're seeing it sort of with a Gallagher. Despite how good you are in the team, I think we're raising that bar so high now that it's gonna be rough. That some of these players are just not gonna make the cut because they're not good enough for Chelsea level. They could be really good elsewhere, but I think we're getting to that point. I think that's what we're trying to do.
I do think that Fofana, depending on a lot, because a lot of this as well with a lot of these guys, right, is dependent on their development. Because if Fofana develops this
he's a good
season,
player.
Yeah, like I'm saying, if he develops this season, like to the level where he can play as a left winger potentially, or play as a striker, like consistently, I think he can have a place in this team. If, for example, like Washington, for example, if Brozier is not the same guy we think he is, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what they see with Jackson going forward, if we buy Tony, there's a lot of like ifs with it, but I think that he can have a place. And I'll be completely honest, man. When I'm seeing people say Gallagher, like this isn't trying to take shots at him, but we know how limited he is, and we know that if we want to win league titles, he cannot be in this squad. He's not good enough to be in a squad that wins league titles. It's just how it is because he's so limited. There are people that are saying he has a place in this team. If he has a place in this team, there are about like 10 other players that can have a place in this team where we are at right now. If we're trying to win league titles, then that's a different conversation. It's a completely different conversation. If we're looking at where we are at right now, Fofana, depending on his development this season, definitely has a place in this team.
I don't like doing this, but if Nicholas Jackson has a good enough season, stuff like that, and we buy Tony and he bangs, that Fofana will probably go on loan again next season. Or put instead of selling if he does work. He's on like a 9-year contract anyway, so we got him. He's on a 9-year deal anyway, or something like that. So,
that's why I said it is a lot of ifs.
Yeah,
so I said it's a lot of ifs and it's a lot of moving pieces. Because, for example, we thought Washington was going on loan to Strasbourg, and now it looks like he might be involved in the team. So if he gets chances in the team, if he gets chance in the team, he may fit the team and start to develop more. And it may be a case of if he develops more and starts to fit the team, then you're looking at Fofana going, is there a place for you? Maybe next season we sell you instead of loaning you. If that happens, like, that's what I'm saying. There's so many moving pieces. There's so many moving pieces.
Broho comes back, doesn't take chances. Washington does. That's Broho done.
Yeah,
that's Broho done, right?
And that's what I'm saying. There's so many moving pieces. And another thing I was thinking, because a few people mentioned it, it's like they see Jackson more as a winger. Say we do buy Tony and Jackson moves out to the left. Like, you can still have a spot for Fofana if that happens, because he could be the backup number 9. Like, then you're less reliant on having the winger. Say, rate Mudryk. Like, there's with this team, with where we are, so many moving pieces with some of these guys. It's so hard to work out where they're going to be, even in a year's time, because we don't know how people are going to develop like across the season. We have no idea what's going to happen with Washington. We have no idea like where he's going to go. We have no idea how Ugochukwu is going to develop. We have no idea how some of these guys are going to go. Like, there is a chance. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a chance, depending on their development, that Gusto could get to Reese's level, and that might be a conversation we need to have next season, depending on certain things. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's what I'm just saying is there's so many moving pieces, so many
players. Don't get attached to some of these new players, because in 2 years they might not be it, or a year they might not be it.
You can like and rate them. Yeah, you
like
rate them, but like
no problem. But don't be surprised either if by this time the transfer window next season we're talking about player A, B, and C are gone. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. If Moreira does
some of them are going to be brutal.
If Moreira does well at Lyon, and more than enough win at depth, he's gone. You know what I mean? If they put in a bid, he's gone. He's going to be profiting on that because we signed him on a free. So you know
Speaking of
what I mean?
Moreira, going to Leon.
There you go.
Leon, there it is. Secret Scout reporting. Leon have signed Diego Moreira on loan from Chelsea. Another good loan, and this is a quality loan for him. I don't know if he's going to get too much play time. I don't know. What do you guys think about the play time for Moreira here?
I didn't even know this still went through. So thank you for telling me. I completely missed this today. It's been a lot of deals going on. I didn't even know it was happening. That's interesting. Yeah.
That's what my show is here for, Will.
I always like to, as people can probably tell, I always like to look at the squads of teams that our loan players are going to, just to kind of have a guess, like how they're going to play, whether they're going to play, who might play over them. These guys don't have a lot of wingers. They've got Cherky. They've got some guy they bought from Nordsjælland, who's apparently meant to be really sick, but he's like 18 as well, so he's around the same age as Moreira. Apart from that, they don't really have anyone else to play on the wing, from what I saw. So there's a good chance he gets game time, which is good. They've really literally got like two wingers apart from him, maybe three. So this should be a good move for him. Like, hopefully he does get game time. He may not start like to begin with, but hopefully he gets the chance to. He should get the chance, to have like games, and hopefully he just impresses. That's the thing.
Really?
Obviously, they're a mess of a team right now. I'll say that much. They are a mess. So come later on in the season, he'll probably be playing under a new manager. The way it's going. And hopefully that manager is a lot better than this manager that they currently have, and he develops under him. He's bad at the moment for Leon. But hopefully he plays well.
I think will
I don't think anyone should be I don't think anyone should be surprised by this line. Probably just the lateness of it. Really, if you think about it, the options that we have on
the lateness
wing,
of a lot of them.
Exactly, but I think it's just the lateness of the line, really, because I know he played Wednesday, right? So
yeah.
By like speaking to Lewis and something like that, he didn't really stand out or anything like that. And I'm, I'm like I said before, I don't start getting through. But I don't think anyone should be surprised. We've now got Palmer in as a wing option. We've got Sterling, got Madueke, got Mudryk, Maatsen. So he's like at least six. I might have missed out someone, but do you know what I mean? So at the moment, 6 in line, and possibly. Like someone talked about earlier about Jackson's better, so he's at probably 7th. You know what I mean? So it's good to get him out on loan, like I said. See how he does. He's on a 6-year contract or 7-year limit anyway, so we're not in any rush to sell him or anything like that. But I think he'll be one of those players that hardly plays for us unless he absolutely bangs out there. Do you know what I mean? Like they're in the Champions League, right? Are they in the Champions League?
Yeah,
I think so.
No, I don't think so.
It might be Europa League or something like that. Maybe.
Someone in the chat, let me know. Strasbourg Steve, is he's in the chat?
Lens. It was PSG. Lens.
It might not be actually.
No, they're not in.
They're
They're not in anything. They finished 7th last season.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they didn't do so hot.
No, let's see what he does. I mean, why did we sign him? The reason he left Benfica wasn't because he's a bad player. He refused to sign a contract and they didn't play him last year. So that's why he left on a free. Let's see how he does, man. Maybe he comes back. He's maybe send him to Strasbourg. Oh, my fuck it now. Jesus Christ. Angela out there. Forgot about him as well. So he's got, good Lord.
He hasn't played. He's getting pity minutes at the moment.
Yeah, he's not even starting. Like, all this we should start Angela. He's not even starting for Strasbourg. But
we'll give it time.
Let's see how these young guys do. I'll hit up Strasbourg Steve because there's no way I'm watching Leon matches this season.
Why not? You should watch some Leon matches, man.
He's got better things to do, man.
Turkey ball, man. Turkey ball. Lacazette ball.
I looked at the fixtures. Every time there's a Leon match, I'm headbutting a brick wall at the same time. So I can't get out of my schedule.
Complex schedule.
Yeah, man. Listen. The one to watch. Trust me, mate. We're cooking on that one.
So I just found this tweet. I didn't realize this, but Bashir Humphreys signed a new 4-year contract before he left for Chelsea. I tried to pull it up, I failed. Bashir Humphreys has signed a new 4-year deal at Chelsea as he moves to loan to Swansea. So good.
Everyone.
We're gonna have him for a while. So we'll see how that goes. let's move on to the meat and potatoes. These guys have been stirring up quite a storm in Chelsea Twitter. So let's go on and start talking about Ian Maatsen. Let's start talking about Chalobah and Gallagher. Let's give you guys some updates on what happened with their transfers. Let's start off with this tweet right here. This today's tweet. The window ends with Conor Gallagher, Trevor Chalobah, and Ian Maatsen all staying. Yep, none of them went anywhere.
There you go, Chibuzi. Yep.
Hip, hooray!
There you go. So let's elaborate. Let's elaborate on each of them.
Gallagher, what fifth choice?
Gallagher Nation, unite.
Gallagher, Chalobah.
Can I put out this urgent plea? Can someone check on Xavi CFC, please, to see if he's still, conscious? Can someone check it?
See, he actually hates Gallagher. He might dislike Gallagher more.
You, Scott.
No.
He's
He actually has a passion.
Scott,
yeah,
we have
Gallagher.
Gallagher pictures
Yeah.
because of you.
No, but
Yeah,
Xavi, it's pure hate.
Xavi would have left.
We talked to him the other day.
Yeah, Xavi
didn't we?
would've left.
One of the other streams. Yeah, he did not like him.
Gallagher, you were a good.
Cucurella
What?
stays, bro.
He's not leaving. He's here still. What are we
Listen,
talking
man.
about?
At least
He
my.
didn't die.
Hey,
All
fuck
right,
that.
let's start off with the first player on this list, which is Maatsen. So let's see what happened that I guess caused him to stay. So tweet from earlier today: Chelsea will receive around 70 million combined. In obligations for Lewis Hall and Ian Maatsen as things stand. Meaning if they were to both have gone. If Maatsen were to have left, we would have gotten 70 million pounds from them combined, which
That sounds good,
is
though.
pretty good. Yeah, it does sound good. I mean, we move on. Sarcasm City here reporting. Ian Maatsen continues to stall on new contract offered amid interest from West Ham and Burnley. A decision on his future will likely run late into Friday. Then, going forward, West Ham come on. West Ham are
Don't call it
keen on
X, man, it's
Chelsea
Twitter.
left back Ian Maatsen. The 21-year-old has been offered a lengthy new deal by Chelsea, but is unsure over terms and the validity of signing it. Then we have breaking exclusive. Chelsea agree a deal for Ian Maatsen to rejoin Burnley. This is coming from Matt Law. So there was a deal in place between Chelsea and Burnley for Ian Maatsen to go. Chelsea are currently trying to convince Ian Maatsen to join Burnley. This is coming from Miguel Delaney at the Independent. And then we have here Chelsea defender Ian Maatsen, left winger, Chelsea player extraordinaire. Ian Maatsen is set to reject move for Burnley. And then last tweet I think I have here is Chelsea have told Ian Maatsen he must sign a new deal if he is to stay. He's reluctant to go to Burnley. I think he wants to fight for his place, which fair enough. I'm not opposed to that, but
So
what if you don't sign? Then we're kind of screwed, right? I guess.
yeah,
No,
but
we're
free.
It's his choice to sign. We can't force him to sign.
Of course.
First of all, side note: Koala Moani to PSG has been completed, so that's a fearful
Good for him.
front three for you.
Good for
Yeah, this whole thing, I see. Them agreeing a deal with Burnley was like more of a negotiation tactic to make him sign a new contract. Like, unless you're going to sign a new contract, we're going to have to let you go because we can't have you walk out on a free, essentially like that. Now, I know
makes sense.
There's a clause in the contract for a year extension, but I think it's dependent on appearances, and if someone tells me I'm wrong on there. So, listen, if he doesn't want to go to Burnley, I understand that it's Burnley. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get minutes. I really don't know if he's going to get minutes this season. I really don't. I presume he might because of the way Poch's hardly given Cucurella any minutes at all apart from the Carabao Cup this season. And because he's given Maatsen minutes in, I think, 2 of the league matches. Or maybe all 3. I can't remember. Definitely
against Liverpool, I remember that.
Yeah, against Luton, he definitely came on. I remember that as well.
I don't think he did against West Ham. He definitely did against Liverpool and against Luton. I don't think West Ham he did.
Right. I just, listen, I want him to be given a chance. I don't know if he will. That's the thing. But You can't get him to sign a new contract. It's just not gonna. It's not our choice. We can't force him to do that. Let someone else speak now.
But I think it's highly dependent if Chilwell stays fit. It's a big factor. If Chilwell gets hurt, then we're seeing Ian Maatsen play. I can see that. Unless you guys disagree.
Or Cucurella as well. Like, maybe he gets his chance to see, this season too. I see Maatsen actually as a higher option. Like, he's going to get picked more because we're already seeing this season probably like Maatsen's been subbed on. Cucurella, the only game he's really played is the Carabao Cup. I think that's the only game he's played, so maybe you're right about that.
That's the game he started.
Maybe.
He did play minutes as a sub in the other ones.
As he, I'm trying to remember which game.
Yeah, we're just talking about it.
Oh, I missed it then.
Yeah.
Quick question, guys. Has Malang Sarr been sold?
Oh,
Nope.
Shit, I keep forgetting
Still
about that guy. Like, Poch don't even know about that guy either, man. Who are you? He's gonna think it's some random guy who just got onto Cobham or something like. You said, "Who are you?"
Malang Sarr, that's my G, man. That's my G right there. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
That's my dog.
Why?
What do you mean? Why not, bro?
He's not a good player.
Well, so just because he's not good, bro, I can't say. You know what? That's my guy. That's my guy. What's going on?
If I said that about Mason Mount, man, I would have
Remember, he cooked against Tottenham that one game.
Hey, man.
Did he?
One game.
I forgot.
Yeah, no one remembers. But that being said,
There was one game, yeah.
Yeah. That being said, though, with Ian Maatsen's situation, look, I think. Do you guys reckon part of the reason he's not playing is because of that contract situation?
What contract?
I don't think so.
The only I don't know
literally.
This guy, Chris.
No, like
chronic depression, bro.
I don't understand. What do you mean contract? Like, why? Because he's on a lower contract. Like, it's not many years left.
No, because he's got a year left, bro.
Yeah, but
like,
I don't mean anything.
Guys, it was nice knowing you. I'm off. I have no use here.
Honestly, I don't pay attention to his contract.
Apparently, there's no point in me being here and talking about anything I talk about.
But the reason he doesn't play is because he doesn't beat any of the five or six centre backs we have. Like, he's not good enough. Like, there's no. What do you mean? Like, I see, he had this chance like a few seasons ago, whatever he played, like a couple of seasons ago, and he wasn't good enough, was he? Like, Axel's better than him. Chalobah, Axel.
Are we talking about
you know what,
man? What
man?
are we talking about?
We're talking about Malang Sarr, right? Centre back.
No.
Oh,
We're talking
no.
about Maatsen. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Okay, my bad. Okay. Well,
fucking minerals, bruv.
You're on that minerals pack, bro. Jesus.
I'm Maatsen. Maatsen's a decent player, yeah.
Okay, yes. Yeah, Maatsen's a decent player. We'll move on. We'll go.
Malang Sarr, shit.
Yeah, all right, true, agreed. Let's go on to the next topic. Chalobah to Bayern has collapsed. Okay, so first tweet I have on this is the following. Between Chalobah and Gallagher, Chelsea won £100 million. That's a good amount. I could see that. I don't know if you guys agree, but I could see that amount. 50 for pretty much each player.
Because of the contracts, innit? Look, Chalobah's got like a new 6-year deal recently. Gallagher's, I think, got around about 2 years left now? Almost 2 years left on his deal. Somewhere around about that ish. So, makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, it did make sense. I think a lot of people's reaction was we're being too ambitious with that price. But, hey, if you get even close to that, it's a pretty hefty amount of money. So let's go on to what Simon Johnson has to say here. Trevor Chalobah's preference would be to stay at Chelsea, but following the arrival of Axel Disasi earlier this summer, there is an acceptance that the best route to regular first-team football may be away from Stamford Bridge, which I think is smart. Let's move on. Chelsea have set a £50 million asking price for Trevor Chalobah. And then we have here Chelsea want a permanent sale for Trevor Chalobah and expect a £50 million fee. There's a big gap between Chelsea's valuation of Trevor Chalobah and what Bayern Munich are prepared to pay, according to Fabrizio Romano. Now, I believe part of the issue for Chalobah is that we wanted a loan. Chelsea rejected a new approach from Bayern Munich for Trevor Chalobah as it was again on loan. I should say Bayern wanted a loan. We wanted a sale. I think part of the reason being because we only have so many loans left in our bank for our more senior players, which I think Chalobah counts as a senior player. We only have one left. And I think that one went to MORIERA, as we saw. As was again a loan. Conversation continue in order to find a way. Nothing sealed or agreed at this stage. So yeah, if we had loaned out Chalobah, then there's a chance MORIERA gets stuck here. So exclusive Trevor Chalobah deal not off as all Bayern are still negotiating Chelsea. New proposal sent to make deal happen on straight loan. Discussions continue. FC Bayern are confident. Chalobah gave his green light to the move. Then we have here Chelsea and Bayern Munich still talking about Trevor Chalobah. Neither position has changed yet, with Chelsea wanting a sale, Bayern a loan. Bundesliga transfer window shuts down 5 p.m. UK time, and it has already shut down. And we see that the Trevor Chalobah and Bayern loan deal with no option being discussed overnight is revealed. And Chelsea have agreed a deal with Burnley for Ian Maatsen. Okay, this is different, unrelated. Nottingham Forest then came into the picture. £25 million bid for Trevor Chalobah, as we saw earlier in previous shows. Chalobah has no interest in going to Nottingham Forest. Chelsea are prepared to send Chalobah on loan to Bayern after further talks between the clubs, but it's gone quiet at the Bayern end. Chelsea have been pushing for a sale. And then I think right here we have, Fabrizio Romano reporting Trevor Chalobah to Bayern on verge of collapse. And I'm pretty sure as of now, it's done.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Chris. Go on.
I was gonna say Chelsea's gonna be fucked up, man. Like 50 million for Chalobah. They know he's like our 5th choice or 4th choice. Like, there's no way we're getting 50 million.
I mean, it's not because he's bad.
No, but like he's not our 5th. Bayern Munich pay 50 million for like our 5th choice. That's crazy. He's 25 million.
They wanted 70 million for Cho.
Here's the thing. Based on this transfer window, I don't think 50 million or 40 to 50 million. Second of all, on a side note, I don't know why all the leagues don't agree to shut the window at the same time. Was that a bloody hell?
Universal time, yeah.
Stupid.
I was going to say, Andrew, I think the Turkish one is open till like next week.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. The Saudis one's open to bloody 7th. It's just ridiculous. I mean, but that's a side note. That's a thing. But with Chalobah, 25 million is an insult. Chalobah's a good defender. Like, the thing is, right, he was linked to, there was some rumor he was linked to Spurs, right? He's better. I don't think he's good as Van der Ven. I don't like Romero because he's too rash and stupid. I think he's better than Romero right now. Not maybe.
Bring his intelligence into it.
Maybe Romero can improve, but for me, he's a walking yellow card, and so. I think Chalobah's more than enough to he can get into a lot of defenses in the Premier League. I think Chalobah can. I think he can. So asking for 50, I don't think it's too much. Is this right?
I'd say like all the teams like you mentioned. Go and look at like all the other top 6 teams. He's at worst Tottenham's best centre back. He's at worst Liverpool's, I'd say, 3rd best centre back. I'd say he's probably 3rd right now because Matip has dropped considerably. United, he's better than Lindelof. He's not better than Maguire. He's not better than Martinez. But not Maguire, sorry. He's better than Maguire. He's better than Evans. Like, this is a guy who was keeping Andreas Christensen out of the team like years ago.
By the way, I think
was putting in man of the match performance.
I think he's 3rd best at Newcastle after Shaw and Botman. Goes to Newcastle.
But yeah, depending on where you
already do.
I'd even argue you can make the argument.
I think you might need to. Your thing's jumping in and out, mate. You might need to reset
because there's a
lag in and out again. Yeah. Going back, no, I don't think 50 million is. I think that's just about right for this transfer window. I really do.
I agree.
Why is Gallagher worth 45 million and someone like Chalobah isn't?
Yeah,
I don't think Gallagher is worth 45. I'm sorry.
I think Chalobah's had 2 solid seasons in the Premier League. outstanding but solid. He was up for Player of the Month, I think, this season in March, and then fucking Potter dropped him for no effing reason whatsoever. We were never told why.
Yep.
Because he liked to do that during. I don't know what it is about Chalobah that it's this fan base, so it could be a lot of fucking things.
Andrew, I don't think it's the fan base. It's certain people. Certain, like, I don't know what he's done. It's certain people he's rubbed the wrong way for, like, doing nothing.
Yeah.
Can I say that, like, kind of defend myself with, like, with the Bayern Munich? It's Bayern Munich. I don't see Bayern Munich spending 50 million on Chalobah when they probably would have looked into it and know he's like our 5th choice or whatever, what you want to call it. But I don't think it's like, you know, Chelsea shouldn't expect Bayern Munich to go pay 50 million. It's like the realistic approach. I think Bayern Munich could have paid just 30 million.
I'm sorry.
That's the thing. Like,
it's a seller's
wait,
market.
real quick, Andrew. Like, this is the thing. Like, we sit here and complain about the prices that we're given for a lot of these players, Ugarte, Caicedo, Enzo, and then now we're trying to now Chris, you're saying like we should be more reasonable when these clubs aren't being reasonable to us. Why should we be reasonable with our prices with these players? If all the other clubs are going to overcharge us overs for all these players, so we know they're not worth that amount of money. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Caicedo, I love Enzo, I think they're fantastic players. Yeah. But I'm not paying over 100 million euros or pounds for them. Then why should we hold back on our sales? Like, why not take advantage of it? If all these other clubs are going to be paying this much, and all these other clubs are going to be charging this much, why shouldn't we?
Let me bring up Jez's comment here.
Bring up Jez.
And this is not his 5th choice, but if you look at who our centre backs are, I think that he's only 5th choice.
Thiago Silva, Disasi, Badiashile. Like, we have quality centre backs. Colwell.
I think he's only 5th choice because of how good our other centre backs are. And there's still some. Listen, I think Disasi's been judged. I think Disasi's been judged very harshly since he had no pre-season with us whatsoever. Yeah. So let's see how he does. Now, I think Chalobah, if this Chalobah playing, I really would. I wouldn't have any problems with him playing right now. I don't know what it is about this fan base that, again, I do know, but I don't know what it is sometimes with this just general and fans are willing to write people off. When actually, like I said, he's had some bozo moments, but who hasn't in our defense? Yeah. I mean, Fofana was a shambles.
Let's look at some of these Premier League teams too. Like, if we're looking at Man United right now, I'm pretty sure they would kill to have Chalobah right now on their team with Varane out. If we're looking at Liverpool, they would love Van Dijk is out. They would love to have Chalobah to take his place. They don't want. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Tottenham would kill to have, like, these are top teams we're talking about. So why wouldn't we want to charge 50 million pounds for it? Like,
what are the needs of Bayern Munich?
And he could potentially start for Bayern Munich. That's the thing.
He could actually.
Jez might be able to tell me in the chat unless anyone else in here.
Yeah.
De Ligt, Upamecano, then who else is their centre back?
Kim Min-jae. Kim Min-jae,
you're right. But they're playing 3, right? They're playing 3 at the back.
That's
now?
one person?
I think so.
Is that Kim and Jay?
I think they haven't, not every game.
They're not playing 3 at the back every game, but that's 2.
Okay, so but apart from that, who's the 4th choice? Anyone know?
They needed another option. Yeah. They also tried to sign Bella Kotchup today as well, so they did want options.
They did. You're right. So they needed another option, right? So they needed another option. No, who's ass? De Ligt.
De Ligt.
Oh yeah.
Upamecano's ass as well.
Just going back to the fees. Just going back to the fees thing, which I find odd, is like we saw Brendan Johnson go today for what was it, 47.5 mil?
Yeah,
I think it was.
Yeah.
For a
package.
No, there was no add-ons. There was no add-ons.
It was all up
front. There was 47.5 up front, no add-ons that they paid. Like, and I'll be real, Chalobah as a centre back, I know you pay slightly more of a premium for forwards because they're the ones who score goals, but as a centre back, Chalobah's better than Johnson is as a forward, much better. And it's like I had a look at Disasi, by the way, and this isn't trying to shit on Disasi, it's more how much I rate Chalobah. I don't think Disasi this season has been an upgrade on Chalobah so far. That's not to say he can't be, but I don't think his play has been an upgrade on Chalobah, and I think that's how good Chalobah's been for us. We We signed Disasi for like, I had a look, it's like 38.5 mil, or it's like 45 million euros. So why can't we charge this price? Like, if they're not willing to pay, that's what
I don't.
If they're not willing to pay 50 mil for a
It's
centre
about-
back that they need, it's fine.
Why doesn't any? And this isn't aimed at anyone. This transfer markets now are a. Did we sign who? Okay. Transfer markets now are a seller's market, and so what people need. People need a centre back. Centre backs are not. There's not a lot of recognised centre backs or good ones, and I think he's underrated. Is he the best? No. Is he going to be the best? Probably not. But do you know what? I have no issues with keeping up the squad. He's a humble guy. I don't think he wants to play football fine, but it's not as if just with his upbringing and what he does in his spare time. No, I think he's Jehovah's Witness. Right. It's just, I like him a lot, man. I don't, like I said, if he didn't sign Sassy now Chalobah, I would have no issues with him being like playing right now. I really wouldn't. So, but listen,
again, I like his attitude too. And that's the thing. Like, I think it's pretty obvious why Poch doesn't play him. You look at the quality, and then we went over this. The quality there, like if you're playing a 2 at the back or 4 back 4. Whatever we're playing, he's not going to get in over Thiago Silva. He's not going to get in over Levi Colwill. Badiashile has shown he's been more consistent than him. So in reality, then you're.
And we just signed Axel as well.
And in reality, then you're really thinking 2 players, which is Disasi and Colwill. Colwill hasn't really put a foot wrong yet, so he's been looking good, and he had a really good stint at Brighton. So now you argue that Colwill's better than Chalobah. And Disasi is still up in the air. I mean, he has experience under him. He's the older, more vet player in the team, other than Thiago Silva in that back line. So it's a tough uphill battle for Chalobah to get into this squad. It's not as easy as
how much
he's
did Palace
and he's
want for
coming in.
Gertie?
25, right? Didn't we just discuss that?
No, they wanted 50.
Oh, not us. Okay, yeah.
Listen, I think Gertie, the same as this is no disrespect to Gertie. I think he's good.
I think Chalobah's better than him.
I think his partner's better, Anderson, overall. But why? I don't think there's much difference in Gertie and Chalobah.
I prefer Chalobah.
Maybe Gertie's more physical presence, but I don't. If it's a flip of a coin, but why is it okay for? And this isn't directed at Chris, by the way, because I'm not going to do that. I think we stop. And I think Chris is okay with Chalobah. It's not as if he doesn't rate him or anything.
Oh, I actually do like Chalobah.
I think we all rate him.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of us in here rate him.
Okay, Andrew, you know what I said at the start? I didn't want us to sign another centre back because I felt comfortable as Chalobah as a fourth or third choice. I really felt comfortable. I didn't want to sign Axel, but even though Axel does apparently he's supposed to be good and all that, but like I was happy with Chalobah. But I just thought with Bayern, realistically, they would not pay 50 million for Chalobah.
Oh no, no.
But Premier League team, I would expect because he could actually fit into a lot of Premier League teams. Actually, I think definitely.
The only way we were going to allow him on loan, I think, was an obligation to buy. That's what I think we're only going to, and that's what Bayern didn't want to do. They didn't want to do an obligation probably for that much, or how much it was.
Yeah,
there's no way.
I mean,
let's remember Inter Milan were trying to get him for 25 million. We weren't going to sell him for 25 million. He's on I think he's got 5 years left of his. He's got 5 years left of his deal.
There is also context to it. There is also context to it. When negotiations started, we had still not gotten rid of Romelu Lukaku. What if we had used up the international loan for Chalobah and the one from MORIERA, and then we're stuck with Lukaku because we couldn't get him sold? We had to end up succumbing to a loan with Roma to get rid of Lukaku. So we had to use one of those international loans. That's why we were reluctant to loan him out.
As well.
What if something had happened to Ziyech? We had I'm sure next season, if we sell off a lot of these players that went off on loan, then maybe if we don't sell Chalobah, we loan him out. I'm sure that could be a possibility. I mean, I don't, because that's the. Do you guys think that the club is realistically like taking away like the whole loan situation? Do you think they actually want to sell off Chalobah, or do you think the intention was we want to loan him, but we have no choice but to sell him because of the situation we're in with Lukaku, with Ziyech, with all of our other youths that have to go out on loan.
With our centre backs, he's the most sellable asset.
Yeah.
And there's no other one that comes close. He's the most sellable asset. He's pure profit.
I keep forgetting the pure profit. Yeah.
Pure profit. FFP for next year. That's what I'm saying. You sell the guys who haven't got, who's going to be pure profit. It means you get to spend more. And God forbid, everyone loves, and all our rivals love our spending, right? They haven't gone on about it that much. But a sellable asset when it comes to that. Now, you see, it wouldn't happen, but I'm telling you right now, if the Sassy works out and plays well, there's by no means any, and Badashile comes back. You know who apart from Joe, you know who else is looking after his place? Fofana. Fofana might not get back in this team. And he's injury prone. And maybe then he becomes more of a sellable asset or a loan out next season. Because if Disassi ups his game, which you're going to have to give him a chance to do, and you've got Colwell, and I believe Thiago Silva, maybe not, I believe Thiago Silva will leave next summer. And you've got Colwell there, and maybe Chalobah comes back from injury and plays well and stuff like that. Then everyone switch your attention from Chalobah and go to Fofana. I don't care. We bought him for 70 million. You can't stay fit. Why? What's that to me? And what's that to Pop?
Also, I'll be real.
To the owners?
I'll be real, Andrew. He's not someone that I look at like Jackson, for example. See how he's just literally comes to hit the ground running. I look at Cole. I look at Fernandez, for example. There are guys I look at and go, you have hit the ground running. You have been incredible. I don't look at Font in that way. And some of it unfair because he was obviously a part of that just terrible team we had last season. But even then, he didn't look like a £70 million player to me. If he'd have cost the same as Disasi cost, I'd say if he'd have cost the same as Disasi, I'd have completely understood. Because I would, that's the thing, I agree with you. If Disasi improves, because the thing I've been impressed with him is his passing. If he can improve in terms of getting rid of the silly errors out of his game, and if he can look as he was in the Liverpool game, I think it was, where he was a beast. If he carries on like that, then I agree. Fofana's going to be looking at his place a bit shakily, and then you've got to look at a £70 million asset on the bench, chilling, who can't stay fit. So, yeah, you're going to have to look at it a bit. It's going to be an interesting conversation to have come next summer and come the future.
For sure. I mean, and coming next summer, and also, hey, to address this, it's because he's saving his energy for this next topic, all right? Let's talk about the other player that didn't actually end up leaving. Oh, his AirPods are dead. That's why. Okay, well, he's also saving his AirPods energy for this next topic. Gallagher staying at Chelsea. Let's go. This one's for Scott.
Get the Gallagher pictures out. Get the Gallagher pictures out. Get the Gallagher pictures out.
Okay.
Our Lord and Savior Gallagher.
Our Lord and Savior Conor Gallagher. We're just gonna slide you here. There you go. Oh God. Okay. So let's bring up the tweets. So let's entertain Scott tonight. Okay. So Conor Gallagher has a huge chance to get Chelsea.
Prayers for Javi as well. Prayers for
Javi. There you go.
Unlucky.
Conor Gallagher has huge chances to stay at Chelsea, also because they want to send him. I hated this tweet. Okay, Conor Gallagher has huge chances to stay at Chelsea, also because they want to send a message to the young players that someone from Cobham has to be in the squad.
What about Reece James?
Okay. Yeah, I think this is so corny. This is like Mason Mount all over again. It's so corny.
PYS, man. Like he was crying about Lewis Silva.
No, but Fabrizio said this. This is a Fabrizio quote. So
I don't know.
there's probably some validity to it, but we move. Then Tottenham are set to make a late attempt to sign Chelsea's Conor Gallagher, who is also on Bayern Munich's radar as they look to bolster Thomas Tuchel's options in midfield coming from Jacob Steinberg. Then Tottenham are also likely to step up interest in Conor Gallagher, the Chelsea midfielder, if they can sell Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. This is coming from Gary Jacob. Then we have Conor Gallagher could leave Chelsea before the window shuts. Breaking. Chelsea bracing themselves for a late bid for Spurs for Conor Gallagher, who would had a bid at Spurs would have to bid at least £75 million for Chelsea to consider, coming from Matt Law. Spurs planning late move for Conor Gallagher. Chelsea value at £50 million. Tottenham made a verbal offer up to £40 million, including add-ons for Chelsea midfielder Conor Gallagher. This bid is £5 million short of Chelsea's valuation of £45 million for the 23-year-old, coming from Simon Jones. Then we have Tottenham midfielder Pierre-Emile Højbjerg has turned down a move to Fulham. Højbjerg's reluctance to leave could affect Tottenham's pursuit of Chelsea midfielder Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher, and this is today's tweet, Conor Gallagher will remain at Chelsea this summer after being priced out of a move to Tottenham, and probably also because Højbjerg is not leaving Tottenham.
So can we? I want to do this. So if anyone's to blame in this whole Conor Gallagher not being sold story, it's Højbjerg. And now over to Scott. Go ahead, Scott.
Sorry, I missed that.
That was a great picture.
I'm just saying,
Good-
no one's
good
to blame
transition.
that Conor Gallagher's not being sold apart from Højbjerg. This is Højbjerg's fault.
Oh yeah,
Because I believe if Højbjerg would have
100%.
left, Conor Gallagher is being sold. I guarantee if Højbjerg left,
yeah.
Conor Gallagher would have been sold. I guarantee. But
Over to
Yeah,
over
fuck
Scott.
Højbjerg. These days, it's what it is. Like, I don't hold up hope for him this season. Like, it is what it is. That's not me wanting him to do badly, by the way. I just have low expectations for him. My expectations for him are just in the mud. But it is what it is. If he plays well, he plays well. It means we're probably winning. If he plays shit, hopefully it doesn't affect the team and we win anyway. Like, also, sorry, I just wanted to point out, I laughed in the middle of that. I love my guy Tuchel, but his talent ID is the worst I've ever seen from a top manager. It might be the worst top level. Like, it might be, it's worse than Klopp's. It's fully worse than Klopp's. His talent ID is the worst.
What about Ten Hag's, man? Ten Hag's is looking questionable too.
No, I don't care. Like, Ten Hag's makes sense.
I don't know.
Ten Hag's is bad. No, it's bad, but it makes sense. Like, it makes sense, like, in terms of he's trying to buy guys that he worked with or played against, and it kind of makes sense.
Amrabat makes
Tuchel's
sense.
talent ID is Tuchel's talent ID is atrocious. Like, say they got Gallagher, where's he playing in that midfield? What's he doing in that Bayern midfield?
next to Kimmich.
He's benching Goretzka, man.
Cool. Yeah, brilliant. Like, cool. So who's the DM in that thing?
He's
Because don't
actually
forget,
a bench option, Scott. Like, he's actually good
What?
coming off the bench, I think. No, but like tackling, defending,
what?
and everything. Like,
To do
what do you
what?
mean, like defending? You know, all that type of stuff. Like, he hasn't got the worst pass
you mean,
at times.
hang on. So the same thing.
But on the
Why
ball,
don't they
he's
just
a
buy
bit
Leslie?
questionable. Pardon?
Can I ask you a question? Why didn't they buy Leslie then? Because Leslie can do all of that.
Chugu?
I don't know. Maybe Gallagher
Yeah.
has very good discipline, and Tuchel likes that, and Poch likes that. Like, they've seen it. Like, I don't know. He has very good
Do you know
discipline.
what, Chris? I've figured out what Chris is, right? When he defends players like this, he's like the court-appointed attorney you get, not the one you got the rich or
The state one, the public attorney.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would have sold Gallagher. I would have sold him. I
you know what
would
it
have
is?
sold him
legal
for
aid.
45.
Legal aid.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
I would
no,
have
no.
sold Gallagher,
But-
but like he's a decent player. Like on the bench, like I'm happy with him on the bench. Like he's not a bad
Again,
player.
to
And
do
this
what?
season, and even preseason, they kept piping about all the players in preseason. He was good, I thought. And in the games, Liverpool, West Ham, and
Chris,
Luton,
this is
he was good.
copium. I'm not going to lie. This is just copium.
This is like I was going to say. First half,
no,
hang
but
on,
like
also,
I don't know
let's
what
have it
Poch can
right.
get out of him. I don't know what Poch can get out of
First
him. He
half
might be
against-
good.
First half of Liverpool, by the way, he was shit. Second half, the only thing he did well was defensively.
No,
On the ball, he's still terrible.
He was good against Liverpool.
No, he wasn't that
actually,
good, Chris.
no, Scott. He saved us
wasn't.
points that game. He saved us
He was
points
okay.
that game. That
That's
tackle
a
against
one
Salah, that's a
challenge,
goal.
man.
Yeah,
What
but
are you
it's
doing?
yes, but the one tackle actually saved us points that game. We would have lost that game.
Oh, Chris.
He loves it.
It doesn't matter if it's just one tackle. It saved us.
Perfect. That was
And it wasn't just a
Oh,
one
my
tackle
God.
in the game anyway, by the way, Scott. He did multiple good tackles. Multiple good tackles.
Chris, you know
And-
what you
and
just
the
said there?
reception.
Chris, what Chris just said is the equivalent of us saying
He can
Sanchez
change.
saved us because he claimed a cross that would have been headed in otherwise. That's actually the equivalent of what you just said, Chris.
Basically,
Come on.
basically, Chris just basically said, in social terms, it's okay. He can change. I know he can change. I believe he can change.
Andrew, you know what this is the little version for those in the UK. This is the little version of we should keep Kai Havertz because he scored a goal in the Champions League final. The little
No,
version of that. We should keep on Gallagher because he made against Liverpool.
It's the full.
We do
I think
man.
Gallagher does more and Kai Havertz will start.
Goddamn.
I think he does a lot more on the pitch.
It's a Timo Werner
Or
defense
is it
again.
hell? What are we
That's what it is.
talking about?
He's good at intercepting
Boris
and
is
tackles
hell.
and shit like that. Like he's got good press too.
He's
I
not
know,
wrong.
like he's an okay player. I'm not
What
saying
we
he's
keep
world class
saying,
or elite
Chris.
or nothing. He's just an okay player, and I would have accepted
Chris.
45 million too, Scott.
Chris, can I
Oh.
say something to you, Chris? I want to find someone in my life that loves me the way you defend Conor Gallagher, bro. That's what I want.
No,
It's,
yeah,
it's
man.
not like I overly like him.
I want to
just think
find
he's a
someone in
good
my
player.
life that loves me the way you defended
Maybe.
Werner.
Oh my god, don't bring it back. Stop
This
this.
is the Werner defense again. This is the Werner defense again. Now listen, Conor Gallagher has done good at the start of the season. Although Wednesday, I believe that Lewis said he wasn't the best on Wednesday going there. But and Lewis is not like a big hater of Gallagher, by the way, if anyone says anything. I'd listen.
Yeah.
My thing about I'd have more. I wouldn't say confidence, but I'd have more like understanding that he's going to play more if Ugo Chukwu had been sent out on loan. But he's not. Ugo Chukwu has not been sent out on loan, and that guy is a beast. Have you seen how tall that guy is? He's huge. He's like a basketball player, that guy. But if I said it at the start, if he's now going to play free, if he's going to play any combination midfielder for free, with Cucurella being out and stuff like that, you've got Enzo, you've got Caicedo, Javier, you've got, I believe, Ugo Chukwu will go ahead of him. Maybe, I hope he goes ahead of him. Carney if he comes back. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. And by the way, this is not even on Chelsea. If I'm not saying we're willing to sell him. Spurs had to just put £5 million more in, and Højbjerg had to leave, and he'd be gone. I honestly believe that he'd be gone. We're only $5 million apart. Even Spurs, Daniel Levy won't be that
It's
stingy.
Levy though.
You know what I mean? They just paid. I know, but he just paid $47 million.
I think he
for
is
Brendan
that
Johnson,
stingy.
For Christ's sake.
With Chelsea, when it
I
comes to
believe-
rival, Chelsea,
I believe if
he
he doesn't get enough games, I think he'll be sold in January. I really do.
yeah,
But
January
I
still an
can,
option.
but I
Thank
can
you.
also see Poch. I can also see Poch still using him a lot, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, and he has been. He started every game so far, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I blame
this is
Højbjerg,
the
Jace.
thing.
I blame Højbjerg.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, like,
blame
there-
Højbjerg.
this is the problem with the whole Gallagher thing is, like, we can say, oh, he won't play because these players are ahead of him. We
That's
said the same
probably
thing
true.
last season, and I understand it's from
Yeah.
managers, but we said the
Yeah.
same thing last season, and he was our second, top. He made the second most appearance in the team last season behind Havertz.
Yeah.
And it's like we can say, oh, this player will play ahead of him. If the manager rates him, which he does seemingly, don't know why, but he does. He'll find a way to
That he starts to.
All in all, though, he is.
Anything
Hey,
outside
listen,
of
you-
above average.
He shouts
We move
you
on
guys.
to. We
No,
move
no,
on
you
to
know
the-
what? I haven't spoken. You know, I haven't spoken on this guy.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, now
Oh,
you want to talk? Oh, okay.
Here we
Oh,
Let's
Okay.
go. Drop the
Hello,
Gallagher
nation.
bomb. Let's go.
Listen, man, you know what I mean? I'm here now. Oh, I keep on looking at
Watch
this. My camera's here. Okay, like, it's really annoying me because I've got my other speakers. So I keep looking here. But you know what it is, guys, yeah? And I'll put it like this. Gallagher, you know, I'm happy he's staying, you know what I'm saying? You know, he's wearing the captain's armband against AFC Overden. That's my guy.
Oh
right there,
my
you know what I'm
days, I
saying?
forgot
That's my
about
brother.
that.
No, see,
Dreams
that's
come
my
true.
driller right there. That's my driller right there, you know what I'm saying? So, Gallagher Nation, man, we
Ahmed.
rise, you know what I mean? Super sub, we rise, you know what I'm saying? Go
I'm
ahead, go ahead.
gonna be real. I hope you never find happiness.
Oh
I
my
hope
god.
you never find
What's wrong with being a super sub? That's a great thing.
There's nothing super about him, Chris.
He's a good. He's going to be a good sub this season. I can see.
Oh,
that.
what
The only thing good about being a super sub if he sinks. That'd be the only good thing about being a super sub with this guy.
Come on, if he keeps playing like this, like this season, it'd be good.
Chris, Leslie is a better super.
Like the last 3 games and pre-season. That's what I mean.
He's been like the last 3 games. I think he's been goodish. Okay,
good.
But it's not like he's been outstanding. Okay, balls, his passing's been adequate.
I thought
he's
Liverpool
had
game
6
he was
out of 10
outstanding.
games. He's been okay. He's just
it's
okay.
7 minimum for me.
Maatsen has not signed a new contract.
Not yet, Mason.
Sangare.
No, he's not.
Oh my god! Listen to this. Ibrahim Sangare complete 35 million euro package.
Oh yeah, he had a release course though. He had a release course of around about 41.
I know, but that's what I'm talking about. That shows the power of the Premier. His team's in the Champions League, bro. In the Champions League, his team's in, and he chooses to leave to go play for Nottingham Forest. The power and the finance of the Premier League is unmatched, apart from Saudi Arabia.
For real.
It's just
true.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
How Bakayoko turned down the chance to Brentford. You know.
Brentford are going back in January if they get knocked out, aren't they? Is that what was reported?
I don't know. But I'm just back to Gallagher though.
Just quickly,
Gallagher can do an adequate
Jason.
job. He can do an adequate
my
job.
guy
Just don't
Jason.
let him get further up the pitch.
Yeah, to my guy Jason, you can ask anyone here in chat. I was cooking Gallagher all last season when he wasn't playing well. So believe me, I will hold him accountable.
No, he did
Everybody
a
was
Chris
poor last
defense.
season. No, but everybody
He
was
did a Chris
He had a
defense.
Gallagher.
There's Chris's defense.
No, but everybody was
Right
poor
there,
last
right
season. You
there.
can't just Gallagher was shit. Like everybody was shit last season. Like every single
No,
man
but
was
that's the
shit.
problem. That's Chris
Except for
demonstrated.
James.
You've demonstrated the first answer that everyone gives when you criticize when someone defends a player. Oh yeah, but this guy was bad. What about this guy?
I do the
Focus
same
on
for
that
Sterling
player.
too, by the way. Like because
Marshall,
people like Sterling.
Sell Sterling.
Yeah, because what?
What's your opinions on Chilwell?
I think he is decent, but obviously before the injury, I thought he's quite good, but then after the injury, obviously he's fallen off, and defensively, he seemed to get he's gotten a lot worse actually. Even this season, attacking, he hasn't really shown it either too much. But I see for me, Scott, next season, Chilwell or Cucurella has to go next season. I don't think we can have both experienced left backs. I want to keep Maatsen and actually as a backup as well, because he's a younger talent. Is that enough or? I don't know why Chilwell.
When are we doing our predictions? When are we doing?
After this next segment.
Oh,
yes.
Hey,
I got
How many more segments, G?
We got one more, ladies and gents. I know you guys have been waiting. I'm sorry. We like to chat football. We like to chat football. We're not, listen. Unlike other channels, we got flavor on here. You know
Who
what
likes
I'm saying?
bangers and mash dry and burn? I don't.
No.
I do not like it. I like my liquor, I like my gravy, I like my mustard.
100%.
I love onions on it, bruv. And salt and pepper.
Salt and
flavour.
pepper.
These guys serve up shit.
Just like this player we're about to talk about right now.
Clip? How long is that clip?
That's a
Jesus
long clip. We just gotta go through the seasonings. You know what I'm saying?
That's the longest clip I've ever heard. Jesus.
So, Chalobah to the Noi. Goodbye. Bangers and mash.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper. We're gone. All
Marshall,
right.
can I ask for one thing, Marshall? I just want to get
Talk to me.
the violin out for my rest in peace, my Cho defending era in
I got you, man.
2021. Goodbye, Cho.
I want to hear Chris defending.
We sadly fallen off, man. I rated him for that injury. Before the injury, he was looking promising, and then he just fell off because of Achilles, man.
Bruh.
No, No, but like
Oh my
after the injury, I was like, okay, you know what? This guy isn't making it no more. Like, just sell him.
Jesus Christ Almighty!
What, like, okay, Andrew, in the Europa League and stuff, and even a few games of Premier League, you can't say he wasn't looking good.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. Hold
Come
on
on,
to that thought. Hold on to that thought because I have a nice reminder for you after these tweets. Okay, so Fulham have returned for Callum Hudson-Odoi and are now battling Nottingham Forest. All right, then we have Fulham have made a late attempt to bring Callum Hudson-Odoi to Craven Cottage as they ramp up efforts to hijack Nottingham Forest move for him. Chelsea are demanding an £8 million fee for the player and want a large sell-on clause included, which probably is why it stalled for so long. It is unclear if Callum Hudson-Odoi wants to move for Nottingham Forest. Fast forward to 2 days. No, Callum Hudson-Odoi traveling to Nottingham Forest, expected to have medical today. And then, yeah, there we go. Fabrizio Romano, Callum Hudson-Odoi to Nottingham Forest. Here we go. Deal finally sealed with Chelsea after verbal agreements revealed 2 days ago. Medical test booked early morning. Then Cho will sign in as new Nottingham Forest player. Hey man, it was nice knowing you, Cho. Here's his greatest moments.
Boy, him
Go
just
on, Chris.
Not scoring.
Go
No,
ahead. Go ahead
no,
and cook.
You have to know I'm going to defend him. Like, no, like I wanted him sold for a good while now because he couldn't even do it in the Bundesliga at this point. So he's just his whole career is finished.
Marshall,
Sadly.
you might be evil for this foul comp. You might actually be evil.
I just have to remind people the agenda.
But he is shit after that injury. But like before the injury, he was looking promising. Like you guys talk about all these promising players we signed this season. He was looking like a promising player himself until the Achilles.
I used to love Callum, but before that injury, I really did like him. And even after that, until about
I gave him a season. Will
Tuchel's personal.
Let me just remind you.
Defended him a little bit, but like
Let me just remind you this way. Let me just remind you.
Just to remind you, he got that.
Remind you.
He had that injury early on. He had that injury early on.
Let me just remind you.
I'll be honest with Callum. I still think he could be like a decent player in his career. He's still young. I just think it's unlikely he's gonna hit the heights.
Yeah, he's not.
So
I'll be honest. The moment I gave up on him is coming up right about now. This one. I gave up on him after this one. I was done.
Listen, guys, just for guys in chat and JK in particular, I have been the #1 up to the Cho Nation. #1 up. I've called this guy the fake. Fake second. Listen, maybe second, who cares? But I have been calling this guy the fake 1v1 demon. You know, I've been cussing out the random. I said, and I said this a lot of times. If you cannot hack it in the Bundesliga, you're not hacking it in the Premier League. I'm telling you right now, even though, I know Cho with pre-Achilles and had a lot of potential. Watch him play one Forest game, any Forest game. He is about to get cooked. I'm just letting you know, bro. But listen, I can't lie to you. I had a little tiny, tear. No, a little one like just dropped like that. If I'm, when he did his little thing on Instagram. But listen,
Listen, I don't care. I don't care if it was instructed by a hand. He should have shot. Okay.
Yeah, he should have shot, but he would have missed it. Or the keeper would have saved it.
He would have shot it right at the keeper.
Probably.
Listen. I know he had that injury and stuff like that, but it's 4 years on now.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's like it sucks. It's something like that. But he's right. I mean, Timo Werner's doing it in the Bundesliga. If you can't do it in the Bundesliga, then you are. I'm sorry. And he scored 1 goal and that assist. Please, man, it's a lot. It's just it's a box. That's all it is. That assist. You actually
the Man City one?
No, the
talk about
last season. But I just listen. I think we got, and this is not even. I think the old board got really, really badly advised about this guy, giving him that contract, 120 grand, when he barely had done anything. This just is mad, and that's not on him. I would take the contract. I don't believe he ever buy me. They don't do that for kids like this. They just don't. Listen, I hope he. Listen, I don't wish him bad or anything like that. I hope he rediscovers whatever he can in some type of form. But it was not for us, bro. Not for us. He needed to go, and I'm glad he's gone because it's just one of those things. It was just like having to talk about Cho. It's just it's you know what I mean.
I would
Just
say depressing.
It's not depressing. It's annoying.
Annoying.
Yeah, I mean,
I remember we had a lot of Cho stands before Bundesliga, and they all went quiet after that. Actually,
I remember Slens, right? Yeah, I remember.
Slens, right?
I never forget. Yeah, Chen Sled. That's how this agenda started.
To be fair, I did rate him as well, and I thought that a lot of I did think a lot of his problems.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like I gave validity to the people who rated him because this is where I know the Achilles played a big factor in all this, but it's not like he didn't have good games. Like when Tuchel first came and he played right wing back for Wolves, and then the next game played right wing back, he was arguably man of the match. And then we were hearing the Chosian saying, "Oh, right wing back is not a position. He keeps playing wing back. Oh, this is not a position, not a position." But he played well there before. So this man had the ability to play well and put on man of the match performances. It was, for me, the issue was the consistency. He wasn't doing it consistently. He came off the bench from Man City in that FA Cup run, I think it was, where he pretty much made the difference between, I think Alonso basically stole the goal from him that he would have scored.
We won 2-1 in the league. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the league or FA Cup?
It was in the league. In the FA Cup, we beat them 1-0 on Ziyech.
Okay. So it's like there's moments in this player, and then the next game he gets playtime against Arsenal, I believe it was, where Jorginho had that howler and he disappeared. So it's like consistency is the issue with this player. That's my issue with him. It's not that he didn't have the ability to perform. He had the ability to perform, but now he went off to Bundesliga, where I would have assumed he was going to perform more consistently, score goals, score assists, at least give me assists. I know he gets benched. He just doesn't kick off there. So listen, this guy's not as good as people thought he was.
I was gonna say, do you guys remember when Tuchel subbed him on? I think it was against Southampton. I'm not sure what game.
Yeah,
but
he subbed him off.
20 minutes later, he subbed him back off. Man, that was like it's very unheard of that a manager do that. That's quite bad. To do that on a player, I guess. So I guess it's going badly for Cho at that point.
Yeah.
I remember people getting outraged for that as well. You can't sub him on and take him back off. Well, you can. He's the manager.
Oh, yeah, he can. He can, exactly. He's the manager.
He wasn't doing what he wanted. He wasn't doing what he wanted, probably.
Yeah. All right, but before we go on to the predictions, this is basically our window, guys. Chelsea had made briefing to reporters, mass clear, have been briefing the reporter, a mass clear out for weeks leading up to the summer transfer window. Many fans rolled their eyes at the same reports we had all seen in previous poor seasons. Paul Winstanley, Lawrence Stewart, Todd Bowley, Baghdadi Bali worked together to massively reduce the players at club. Loans, who will come back? Kepa will come back, Lukaku, Burstow, Humphreys, Angelo, Diego Moreira, and Dr. Fofana. Released 14 players. Total 100% confirmed leaving 34 players. Total raised from our players without add-ons 218.2 million pounds. Total raised from our players with potential add-ons 243.4 million pounds. Unclear Livermento sell-on clause amount that the club also received 35 million pounds next summer for Lewis Hall. Money. Sale numbers from 1 to 20 not in order. But yeah, here we got all the sales. I guess let's run through this quickly. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rate this window? And I guess a quick little summary. I'll start this off. I'm going to give this window basically I'm going to say 9 out of 10. I feel like there was a few moves I don't very much agree with. Like, I don't think the loan for Santos looks like it's going to be the best one. And there's a few others you can discuss. Maybe we could have solidified or bolstered up more in the striker position. Maybe we could have done better to get a better goalkeeper than Sanchez. But I think a 9 out of 10 is pretty good considering the players we got out, the players that we got in. Didn't really spend the best prices on those players, but I guess it is what it is. The market and some of the players that we loaned out should have been sold players, but that's not on Winstanley or Lawrence Stewart. That's more on Lukaku, to be honest. But Ahmed, go ahead, man.
For me, I would give this window. I'm thinking about a 9.05 out of 10. In my opinion. You know,
for God's sake. Come on, man.
what do you mean?
A
Listen, let
9.
me have my
A 9 out
opinion.
of 10. All
No,
right,
no,
go
it's
ahead.
a
Cook.
9 point. It's a 9.05.
Give us that brief summary.
0.5.
9. All right. 9.05 actually, to be exact.
Sure,
But,
sure.
know,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But honestly, I think it's obviously a 9 out of 10 window. Could you have signed another striker? Of course, you can make the argument, but probably the club are waiting for Ivan Toney in January, I would say. Overall, I think in terms of outcomes, the club have done pretty much a good job. I think maybe you can say barring Chalobah and maybe the Lukaku, being able to make Lukaku can be the only downsides in terms of like letting players go, in my opinion. Incoming wise, I think they've done a majority good job. Barring really Sanchez, in my opinion, who I'm not really feeling, to be honest. But again, it's a wait and see approach. But at the end of the day, this has been a very good stellar window. All we need now is Ivan Toney to top it off.
Oh, he would have probably topped up. I was gonna say it's a 9 for me as well. Thinking maybe 10 before, but like I kind of wanted like a more experienced winger, like a Kudos or something. But the outgoings, like who we sold and everything, like Kai Havertz, beautiful, like 60 to 65 million, like that is like top work. I can't believe that. I thought Marina is the only one that can do it, but I guess we can still do it without Marina. Silent Mason Mount, like on 1 year left for 60 million, and after hearing a lot of United fans just wanting to send him back, like a lot of United fans want to send Mason Mount back because he isn't really worth 60 million, like as that player. He's not going to really fix their problems. So another great thing. Even Town Lewis, what's his name? I forgot his name, but we sold a shit ton of players anyway. Lewis Hall, 35 million is very good because he only played a handful of games, and 35 million for him, that's what I was on about. We sold a lot of good players, a lot of average or deadwood players anyway. So amazing selling window. You can't think of any other club doing that in the world, like only Chelsea.
Fair enough. Scott, what about you, brother?
9. The only thing I think that are going to make it a 10 are what happens post window with a couple players, like because I think the midfield we've sorted. I'm very happy with that. I don't really care about. I'm not really focusing on like the 1 or 2 outgoings that have happened or haven't happened where I'm a bit annoyed about, like the Hall thing, the Santos thing, Gallagher not happening. Like I don't really care too much about those in the grand scheme of the window because everything else we've done. What will change it from a 9 to a 10 for me is what happens in the goalkeeper position, because I'm still not sold on Sanchez. But if he hits, or what I think will happen in terms of if Petrovic hits, if he gets a chance and he hits and he takes the number 1, which I think he will, that's sorted for me. And then it's just on the wing, and it's kind of down to Palmer or whatever happens there. If Palmer plays on the left or if he plays on the right and Sterling gets moved to the left and it fixes the whole situation we've got on the wing, then it will turn into a 10 out of 10. But as of right now, a 9.
All right, Will?
I'm going to go for like an 8.5, and it's for similar reasons. But I think it's like, it's a good window. It's a very good window, actually. There's just a few players I'm not too sure on yet, and for me to like rate it any higher, I think would be. I just don't think I can do that yet. But yeah, very good window. A lot of good talent brought in. A lot of shit players sold. Similar to what Scott said, it could be higher if we look back on this. But for now, 8.5, I think is a very good window.
The way you say shit players with such animosity.
Oh, do you know what? It's personal against most of them. After last season.
Sure, honestly. I agree. And Andrew, you close us off.
So, outgoings, 10 out of 10. No issue whatsoever. When you add all the incomings in, it's a very high, solid 8 for me.
Okay.
The outgoings were amazing. I didn't think we'd get high. I think if I'm being really honest, I think everyone I didn't tolerate has gone. I know people might say, what about Gallagher? I'm not that, Gallagher's Marmite to me at the moment. Do you know what I mean? But not like Ziyech went, in Lukaku on loan, Havertz, Mount went, Kepa's gone. The incomings, there's a lot of question marks in terms of not like I don't want them in terms of how they're going to turn out. The Caicedo deal took too long to do. But then we got the surprise of Lavia, Jackson's surprise, and Cuckoo. Good. So 8 for me. I think that's more than reasonable enough. We fit with
averages out to 9.
I think we have improved every area that we have. Gusto for me is an excellent signing, but it doesn't count really in this window because we bought him in January. I'm very optimistic. Optimistic about what these players can do in this squad with a manager. So I'm looking forward to seeing them. But 8 for me. So.
Okay, fair enough, and I can't disagree too much with that either. Okay, let's go and start this off. And you guys are prepared. I told you guys we were doing this today, so hopefully you guys already know.
I'm not prepared. I'm doing this off the cuff.
Okay, it's all good. It's all right.
I've been prepared, man. But
We'll
I
figure it
am
out.
really struggling for top 6. Top 6 is hard.
Here's the table, so you guys
Where does
can
everything
have a
go?
I've already
reference.
looked at the table, man. I
Okay.
am struggling.
I will start this off. I am gonna put in relegation. Good old relegation.
Relegation.
Luton Town.
Yeah.
Bournemouth and Sheffield. Obviously we're doing this now because the transfer window just ended, and you never know that those transfers do make a difference. So we all came to the consensus that let's do it at the transfer window when it ends. That way we have the complete teams pretty much, and then we'll come back and reevaluate and reassess this in January after that transfer window. But as of this transfer window right now, I'm going to say Luton, Bournemouth, Sheffield, simply because I don't think they've gotten, I think they're going to yo-yo this season. I don't think they've done much that's impressed me. Don't think they've done much big signings. Bournemouth, same thing, probably. Listen, this could be ignorance on my behalf. And Luton Town, I mean, listen, Ross Barkley is not going to be enough to keep you in the Premier League. So that being said, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I didn't even notice
but I don't think they have the quality, is my point. I don't think any of these teams have the quality to stay at the Premier League. Nottingham Forest have reinforced, even though they're really bloated. Wolves have reinforced. All the other teams seem to have reinforced at least a little bit, and have shown more quality. So that's my relegation. Ahmed, what do you think, brother?
Oh, I'm last.
Luton Town will be relegated. Everton
20th.
will finally be relegated. And Sheffield United, your time has come. You will be relegated.
The way you said it. All right, Oppenheimer.
Your time is up.
Got Oppenheimer over here. Jesus Christ, dropping bombs.
Oh no. Oh.
Okay.
Whoa. Can't be saying that.
Before we get to Scott,
Come back.
Let's go to we'll get to Andrew. We're going to
Hang on. Can I ask Ahmed? Did you say your time has come for Sheffield United? They only just got promoted.
No, Everton as well. Like I said,
Oh right, sorry.
Everton and Sheffield. Yes. All right. What do you got for me, Andrew?
So I think Luton may match a record or set a new record of getting the lowest points for a Premier League
Oh my
team.
God.
I think 11 points in 07-08. So I think they might do that. Sheffield United, I don't know who they signed. They're still playing is it McBurney up front? Something like that?
Yep.
They're still playing.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're playing two players. They're playing two youth strikers that are like 18, 19.
Right, so they're definitely going down.
Going down.
I agree. I'm just going to break Chris's heart. This is the year Everton go down. This is the year. They are crap. And you know what? They can't. Did Molpo's loan get done to Brentford?
Yeah, he's gone to Brentford. Yeah.
Okay.
Mope gone to Brentford. How is that guy falling upwards? How?
I know.
Falling upwards.
But to make Luton, Sheffield United, and Everton to go down.
Okay. Will, your moment of glory.
Luton, Sheffield, and then I was thinking about this, and I realised Everton are still in the Premier League because They're just so bad. They are just awful. So yeah, Everton, you're gone.
Okay. Luton, Sheffield, Everton. Okay, Scott, what do you got for me, man?
I've just done my whole table off the cuff right now. I'm gonna say.
You want me to scroll up or down? You just tell me.
No, I'm quite confident actually on this. Like it's Luton, Sheffield, and Everton. Luton,
Sheffield, and Everton. Okay.
Luton just don't. Luton are actually building something. Like got decent recruitment, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Sheffield United, I'm sorry, their recruitment's not been good enough. Anywhere near good enough. They've lost like some of their better players. They've got nothing up top. Absolutely nothing. They signed some good midfielders, but it's not gonna be enough. There are some couple of players on that team though that will definitely get sold because they're good. And then Everton are like they are relying on one person for goals, maybe two people. Defensively, nowhere near good enough. They've lost one of their better players in Iwobi, just gone to Fulham. I don't see them doing well. I think it's a toss up like between them and Wolves, to be honest. But I think Wolves, based on what I've seen, may have a little bit more that just can't finish. But at least they're playing a little bit more. Whereas, so it's a toss up. But I think Everton will get relegated.
Okay. I think we mostly agree on Luton. We mostly agree on Sheffield. The differential being Everton and Bournemouth, from what I can tell. Actually, yeah.
Bournemouth?
I think am I the only one that said Bournemouth?
Yes, I believe you are.
Yes.
Wait, haven't Bournemouth signed Sinistera, Alex Scott, Tyler Adams, Max
They
Allen?
have indeed.
Yeah.
They signed-
I would
they're
want to
recruiting
see
to-
Burnley.
I'm sticking to my guns here. I'm sticking to my guns. Bournemouth. Okay. Sorry, Tyler Adams. Another relegation clause on that one. Okay, so let's move on to.
Wait, I haven't done my relegation, by the way. Just to
Yes,
let
you
know.
did.
Oh
Who
yeah.
did I say? Who did I say then?
You
Go on.
skipped. You went ahead and skipped Winter Surfer, and you did yours.
No, I didn't. What did I say? What teams did I say then?
You said Luton, Sheffield, and
I'm actually about to say them, but I didn't say them.
No, Chris hasn't gone yet, has he?
Oh,
No, I
Jesus
haven't.
Christ. Okay, go ahead.
Well,
oh God. Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Chris, go ahead,
if you
go
know my 18th, because I'm still like deciding, but yeah, like you said, Luton are
Okay.
definitely getting relegated. They're staying 20th. I definitely. Sheffield are going down as well. It's between Wolves and Everton, but I think Wolves might go down. Yeah, and then Everton 17.
A brazen pick.
I don't think Wolves. Yeah, they're gonna struggle too as well. They did look good against United, but then United ain't that great.
Brazen pick. Okay. We'll see. We'll come back to that.
I said Wolves as 18th, and then Everton 17th, I guess, but that
I
don't
don't
matter.
know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I can see it, but
No,
I don't see it. Okay. Let's go 8th to 5th. Starting with your 8th place team, going up to your 5th place.
Want to go?
Chris,
When I
we'll
do
go.
six.
Oh, me. I
8th to wait. No, let's stick to 8th to 5th.
8th to what?
8th to 5th, because the Champions League slot is based
Fifth.
on.
Champions League spot is 5th as well.
Yeah, it's 5th. We're guaranteed it.
Is it guaranteed though?
Yeah,
Pretty
I'm
much.
pretty sure.
Like, we'd have
Is
to-
anyone guaranteed it?
Unless you lose
like,
the knockout games
well,
or whatever.
I think it's us or Germany. I basically nigh on guaranteed it. We'd have to flop hard in Europe. All of our teams would have to flop hard in Europe for us to lose. I think
It's
nigh on guaranteed that we've got it.
Let's we'll stick to 8th to 5th then, just because it's not super guaranteed. But yeah, we'll do. Chris, start us off, and then we'll go back up the ladder.
I tell you what, top 6 is hard. I will say that.
It
But
really
It
is.
is tough.
it's very hard because it's hard to decide. But like, okay, I think 8th will be Villa. I think 8th is gonna be
Okay.
Villa, and then
Okay.
7th will be West Ham. Then I think it's gonna be Newcastle 6th. It might mad to say because they've been signing some good players, but I think because they have Champions League football and everything, I think they're gonna be 6th. And then 5th will be Arsenal. We're stopping there. I think they're gonna finish 5th. I don't.
So let
I
me
think
get this
they've gone
right.
through
You said
injuries and
8th
stuff.
Villa,
Yeah.
7th West Ham.
For God's sake, I know this top four.
Hold
already.
on. Wait, 7th West Ham, 6th Newcastle,
Yes, Sam.
No,
and
might sound bad.
5th Arsenal.
So
that
Chris,
means
you've done-
Andrew. Can I just point something out? That
Honestly,
means
Newcastle could be top 4 just as much as the rest, though.
that means he thinks one of Brighton, the top 4, or Newcastle's finishing 10th, by the way. 10th and 9th.
Yep. Did you realise that, Christian?
What do I realise, sorry? Because
I had the same issue, Chris, by the way. I had the same issue when I was doing my league. I had everyone where they were apart from Newcastle and realised I had them 10th. And I've had to rearrange it because I'm like, they're not finishing 10th.
Yeah, I know they're not. They're not. Newcastle finishing 6th or something like. They're gonna be fine for top 4. Don't worry. But like, Champions League and all the other competitions are gonna like slow them down as well. I think as well. They could finish 5th though. Yeah, I think West Ham are gonna do pretty good this year actually, but not like top 4 or nothing. But like they get 7th or something like
What teams are in the Europa League this year?
Brighton.
West Ham. Wait, West Ham is because they won.
Yeah.
Brighton, Liverpool,
and West Ham.
Yeah.
And West Ham have signed some good players.
Villa's in the conference. So.
Yeah. Villa signed some good players. I put Tottenham non-existent in there. Like Tottenham's below our top 8 for me.
I can't like. I'm trying to think this top 8.
Just so you know.
Well, it's making.
I know.
It's hard, man. You know what?
No, it is a tough choice.
It's the hardest I've ever think.
I think top 4 is quite easy. It's everything like it.
It's fighting for that top 4 position, top 5.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, Chelsea might not finish there, but.
All right, Scott, you might not be done, but I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh shit.
8th to 5th. Remember, you got January to reevaluate after the signings. Then.
The problem is I'm really high on a few of these teams, like Villa, Diaby. I'm massively high on. I think he's going to do really well. Brighton and Brighton. Oh, son of a bitch.
This is a tough choice. I had to think about
I'm
it.
trying to think of it. Because I'm quite high on Spurs is the thing, and I think they will finish in Europe. I like Ange, I like what he's doing, and I think their team is really good.
Yeah, that's the problem though, Scott. I think their first 11 is good, but they haven't packed out that squad. That's the problem I've got.
Are they playing in Europe? No, I don't think they're playing in Europe.
But they're not playing in Europe.
They're not playing in Europe, but the problem
that's
is...
what I'm thinking. They're us. That's why...
After Romeo and Van der Ven, their defenders are shit. You know what I mean? That's like...
But for me, you know, I feel like that kind of counteracts, you know, the Brightons, the Villas, the West Hams, you know, the whole playing.
This is Scott's pick, man.
Hang on.
What's the Scott's struggling right now?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. Like
I'm going to go
dig
Duck. I'm going Dig Duck. I'm going Newcastle.
Okay.
Newcastle
I'm
what?
going Newcastle 8th. I'm going Man United 7th.
What?
You better hope Strasbourg sees not watching.
I'm going.
Who's 6th?
And I'm going Newcastle 8th, United 7th, Brighton 6th, and Spurs 5th.
Oh, Jesus, you might have more of a hot take. No, you definitely do.
You know what?
You can see, Andrew, you can see what this is going.
Your choices are more controversial than Chris's. You've managed to achieve that.
Newcastle 8th? I was like
Newcastle
thinking,
8th.
like Newcastle got. When I say Newcastle looking good, but the Champions League might take them out.
Scott, you got a chance to reevaluate. When real Chris is shocked by your picks, then you can reevaluate right now.
No, the thing is, like, I'm basing it on Europe as well, because like I'm basing it on Europe because like they're going to struggle in Europe. Like they have not got the squad to deal with Europe. I like their squad.
They have the squad depth.
Europe. Well, no, because like say for example, right? So who's in their group? Let's say they play. I can't remember who's in the group. Off the top
AC
of my head.
Milan,
It's PSG in the group,
PSG, and I think there's another team in there. I forgot.
PSG, AC, and BURSTOW.
Right, say they play PSG, they're going to have to play their full strength team. Then on the weekend, they've got to play the likes of Jacob Murphy. What's his name? What's the dude in midfield? I've forgotten his name. Longstaff. They've got to play him. They've got to play whoever's their right back is behind Trippier. Like that's the thing. I'm looking at rotation because I'm looking like Spurs have got no Europe. I think they'll do well. Another team will come to later on. I think they'll be fine. I'm looking at the team and I'm also looking at Brighton. Look like they haven't missed a step at all. And I think they have added to their squad to the point I think they can deal with Europe. Also, it's the Europa League. Like they should be winning that. I'll be real. They should be getting to at least the latter stages. So yeah.
All right, Will, my friend, your picks for 8th to 7th, 5th.
Deciding in my head whether to be an active hater right now, or just to try and think this through a little bit more.
Let it out, man. Have a viral moment if you need to.
You know what? Fuck it. I don't know what. Fuck it.
Good man.
Brighton.
Wait, what'd you say?
Brighton.
Brighton 8th?
Yeah, he's an 8.
Okay.
United 7th. I don't want to say that. I'm just hating. I know I'm hating.
Nah, none of you are rating United at all. Fair enough.
Then I need to think now. Then I think.
Wait, what?
I'm trying to think, Chris. I'm trying to think.
Oh, I thought you cut out. Sorry.
No.
It sounded like you cut out.
You
know what You're just having a stroke. I don't know what you.
Okay.
Oh, you're crazy, man.
I'm trying to think. Brighton 8th, United 7th, but that could change either way. I'm not too sure, to be honest. Then I'll go Newcastle, and then I'll go Chelsea 5th, I think.
Interesting.
No support from you then.
Hey. Hey.
There it is.
Fifth, fourth.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what his top 4 is going to be. But all right, we got Will with Brighton 8th, United 7th, Newcastle 6th, and Chelsea 5th.
I feel like I should be putting Spurs lower. I'm not going to lie, but because I think there are still holes in their first 11 even. But
now I'm really interested in his top 4 pick. Okay, Andrew, your go.
When
the cows come home.
Have you come unprepared too?
No. It's so hard to predict. It's so.
Yeah.
I think everyone has put up some pretty good arguments for a lot of these teams.
I'm gonna do this.
This is probably the hardest part of the picks.
Hard to season.
I'm gonna go Spurs. I'm gonna go Spurs 8th.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go Richarlison up front, who's a bum.
That's a good point.
Yes.
Didn't think about that.
That's what
Yeah. I think the first 11. I think the first 11 is very good, even with Richarlison in it. But the squad, they haven't improved it whatsoever.
I did not think about it. I'll be completely honest.
I gave you the chance.
I'll be completely honest. Do you know what it was? I looked at their Marshall. Do you know what it was? I looked at their midfield and their defense, like Udoji and that, and I thought, oh, they're amazing. Looked at did completely forget about their attack. I completely forgot about their attack.
Who knows? Heung-min Son can play striker.
As much as it pains me because they are a little speck of dust. Brighton 7th.
Small club. Know your place. Brighton
Chelsea
7th, right?
6th.
Holy
Yeah,
shit! Okay,
Chelsea
I didn't expect
6th.
that. Okay.
Man
United, or
Yeah,
did
Man
you say
United
Man City? Okay, Man United.
but yeah, I said Man City 5th. Yeah, that's what
I heard man, and I wasn't sure.
If I said Man City 5th, you might as well tell me to piss off. You know what I mean? That's what I said, Man City 5th.
Chelsea 6th, huh? Interesting. What makes you so unsure?
Let me just justify. This Chelsea team is unproven.
Okay.
Unproven. So they're not yet. I think. So listen, I want them to be higher, obviously, but to me,
yeah, obviously, yeah.
I think we have a better squad than Spurs overall. So that's why I place the higher than Spurs, and I want to make Brighton kiss our butts. So the closer they are to us, the better. So we can kiss it better.
Fair enough. Ahmed, your go, brother.
In 8th place, I have Aston Villa. In 7th place, I have Tottenham Hotspur. In 6th place, I have Manchester United. And in 5th place, I have Newcastle.
Ooh. Okay, my man's cooking. I know. I can see where this is going. Okay. Ahmed's picks right there. All right, me.
Interesting.
In 8th place, I have Spurs. In 7th place, I have Liverpool.
Interesting.
Liverpool 7?
Yes.
Is Salah
In
gone?
6th, no.
Okay.
I love that. That's a determining factor. In
that was my...
place, in 6th place, I have Brighton, and then Chelsea in 5th. My hot picks. I just don't think Liverpool.
Sorry, is your Liverpool 7th? Is that with Salah or without Salah?
That's with Salah.
Salah
crazy.
With Salah.
by the way. He still could.
With Salah, then.
Listen. I don't care who these midfielders are bringing in are. I don't think they're gonna be ready for the Prem. I don't think they're good enough. We'll see.
Shit, my top 4 might be a bit stinky, actually.
I think mine is as well. I regret my choice.
I'm happy with mine.
I think most of.
No, you're not. You're not happy with the Spurs thing.
No, I said top 4. He said top 4. I'm happy with my top 4.
Okay.
I'm set on mine.
My top 4 might be. I don't know. Just trying to think.
Let me just put this in the chat real quick. Brighton, I said, and then.
Ahmeds FC is absolutely correct.
Fuck.
He's absolutely correct.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
There's literally I think for me, top 4 is kind of calm. Then the next 6 teams could be in any order. There's I put, considering as I said about the squad things, for me you could put Newcastle United, Villa, Brighton, Spurs all on the same plane, all on the same level, and any of them could come out on top.
100%. I agree. It's a really tough choice. Okay, so let's move on to top 4. My top 4. I think, and listen, this is not to say it's not going to be close. Just like what Scott said, I think it's going to be from 8th to 5th, it's going to be, or 2nd to 10th, it's going to be a really scrambled race. I think it's going to be a very close call. 4th place is going to be United. I think Newcastle are going to maintain, and they're going to go to 3rd place. Then I'm going to give 2nd place, because I've not been too convinced, but this always happens every beginning of the season. I could be proven wrong, but I have not been that convinced by Man City. Now that they've lost a lot.
Yeah, man. L host, man.
I'm just saying.
Who are you saying to win the league then?
I think it's gonna be Arsenal.
Oh, crap.
I can't believe.
I think it's gonna be Arsenal, guys.
Do you know you mishearing me say Man City 5th? Your pick is worse. If you mentioned. Yeah.
My God. Do you know how bad that is?
Can I just say right now? Because I know before even Real Chris says it. Okay, but he's been redeemed. You are Real Chris at this pick at this time. That's what you are.
Listen.
Follow closely by Scott.
You are a failure.
Listen.
You are a fool and you are a waste of time.
De Bruyne's out for a amount of time. Which obviously hindsight's 2020.
Good thing they signed Kovacic and Nunes then.
Yeah, and they got Bernardo.
Kovacic is going to be good. Silva re-signing is going to be a good thing for them.
Yep.
Is Nunes going to be enough? I'm not sure.
I guess Odegaard and Kai Havertz in midfield's better, right?
Oh, guys, you need to see man.
No, but I think Declan Rice does help him a bit. Okay.
Got FIFA.
And if Gabriel Jesus stays fit for most of the season, I think they'll be okay.
You know he's had an injury, right? Like a big one, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's coming back. No, he's back.
Right?
He's back.
Oh, is he back already?
Yeah, Jesus is back.
You'll get more injuries.
Well, and also we'll see what happens with Kai Havertz. I mean,
let me just say they've continued to play Partey at right back. They're going to get destroyed by most teams. They haven't replaced their left back. Kivior's playing there. They haven't. For some reason, he's not playing Gabriel with Saliba as his best best centre back position.
Hey, but that means they got more reinforcement in the bench.
And
They still
Kai
have
Havertz
Jorginho.
is in midfield.
Yeah.
And Kai Havertz is in midfield.
Hey, you never know. Kai Havertz could cook. Who knows?
You'd never know.
In centre mid.
Who knows?
Never know.
Listen, maybe one day. Maybe one
Marshall,
day.
Marshall, bro.
Next week. Ahmed,
You know
next
what,
week,
Marshall?
next
Yeah,
week.
Marshall's been ducking the smoke.
Next
You know
week.
what I mean?
Hey, listen. Next week we have international break. There's plenty of time to make content. Next week.
Right. Let me
I
just
got
say
you.
this right now. You said that you. What did you say about Havertz? You never know, right? Yeah.
I say
I-
maybe Arteta decides to play him as a 10.
Okay.
Oh my
And-
god!
I may also. You never know with me that I may drop £100 right now just by having a big shit. But you know what I mean?
And-
It's just that. So, you know.
I will say,
I mean-
listen, they were very close last season. They reinforced. And
They were
I feel
very
like
close.
Man City have lost a little bit. So, we'll see.
I-
We'll see.
Okay, so
Yeah,
let's
they lost big. Man City lost
go
big,
on.
man.
Let's-
It's over. Arsenal won it.
Who's next? Is it Ahmed?
Yeah.
Yes, it's Ahmed.
Not enough
All
nonsense.
right,
I'm just
I'm too angry at the moment, Ahmed. So don't you dare do
No problem, bro.
Fuel it.
Honestly, for me, I'm hit every time I listen to Marshall talk about Havertz. Yeah, I lose a bit of my life source. You know what I'm saying? My last source
Your
is
hair.
chipped away a bit. Flipping out, man. I'm hearing play him in the 10. He's been played in the 10. Play him in the 8.
No, he hasn't.
He's been playing the 8. Play him on the right and left wing. He's been
Just-
played
I never
there.
said that. I never said that.
just concentrate on your after we've done it.
Wait, man. Them, yeah. Listen, anyway, man. You know, in first place I have Manchester City. In second place,
sensible.
in second place, I think it's still going to be Arsenal, in my opinion. Yes, they may have
Fine.
Europe, but you know when them in Europe, bro, they'll probably get taken out in the round of 16. So
Mhm.
that's pretty much it.
That's
In
fine.
third place, I actually still have Liverpool in third place, in my opinion.
Ugh.
Fine.
Honestly, for
Don't
me,
you
in the third
even
place,
stop with Liverpool pick right there, Marshall.
Ugh.
I swear to God. Do
Ugh.
not even stop.
You can't do that.
I just think for me it's just the firepower when it comes down to it with Liverpool. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
go on.
Superspy going
Who's
to
your
be their
fourth?
best
Yeah.
player, right?
Who's
Oh,
for?
oh, for me, yeah, and then full for me is Chelsea, in my opinion. I think for me, we play one game a week. I expect top 4. I always had us between 4th or 5th. As long as you get one of those 2 spots, I'm happy. So it's interchangeable for me for 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
Because I
That
think
deep-
I had who did
The Liverpool
did I have
defense going
for?
to help him.
I forgot who I had for 4th place. Just quickly, so I'm just looking
Chelsea.
at
You just said it.
that.
Chelsea.
No. Who I had 5th? So who did I have as 5th?
For 5th, you had I have it right here.
Newcastle, right? Newcastle, sorry. I had 5th as Newcastle, so it's interchangeable for me. That's what it is. Because I think if Newcastle get kicked out of the Champions League quite early, then what they're already back to one game a week, just like us. So at the end of the day, it's interchangeable, but that's what it is, man.
I just
Simple as that.
don't know
Alright.
Liverpool on that defense, but go ahead, Andrew.
I'm seething at the moment. Go ahead, Will. Go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
Oh, guys, did you see the link I sent you, Marshall?
Yes. What is this exactly?
It's Ian Maatsen apparently was reacting to the Burnley move, and he's saying, "I'm staying. Come on, you Blues." It's on Snapchat. Someone got. Hey, I
Nice.
don't know if you saw
Alright.
it, but
Really hope he.
I've got to head out because I've got a boxing show with Flawless right now.
Hey, before
Stay
you
here.
head
There's
out,
going to be boxing here. It's going to be boxing here.
wait, before you head out,
Go ahead.
PM me your player of the season, your flop of the season, your top goal scorer, just so I can represent.
I'll
you.
make sure to. Of course, bro. Of course.
Okay, Andrew, when you're
No, let
whenever
Will
you're
go.
ready.
Let Will go.
This needs therapy right now.
He's going to start
I
swinging
need-
in a
I need-
second.
I'm in my
Will.
kitchen, which is big, so I'm not.
I want to Marshall for putting Liverpool 7th because now my United 7th take, no matter how bad it is, it will never look bad compared to that.
Fuck their defense, man.
But
Virgil Van Flop.
I think honestly, I think anyone from like the 7th to 3rd could like. It's just fucking difficult. 4th, I'm going to put Tottenham. Although
Why is Andrew standing? What's happened?
He's seething right now. He's
He's
trying
lost
to.
it.
He's trying to cope with
I
the
just
fact
looked
that I
down.
picked
Oh,
the pick.
don't do
about to
that,
flip
Andrew.
his
It's
table.
not worth it.
Spurs fourth. Okay, well, what's third?
But the reason I've got Spurs fourth, I think I've put them a bit too high, but I think again they've got no Europe. We're similar to us. I think their season will be up and down, but I think they could even be like fifth. We could interchange, but they've got a good manager. They've got good players, but they're a bit toothless at times, so I can't put them any further than that forward. Third, I think Arsenal will be pretty decent. I think, as what you said, Marshall, your reasoning for Arsenal being good is like not even wrong. It's just the fact that you said they're going to win the league. I don't think they're good enough to win the league. I think they've got some good bench options as well. I think Fabio Vieira is actually a good footballer. I think he just needs a bit more time. Their attack can be a bit, when you look past Martinelli and Saka, I think their attack is what I worry about if I was an Arsenal fan. I think they have a lot of, they tend to give contracts to players that have like good spurts of form. Like, didn't they give Nketiah a new contract? And I don't think he's been good.
It was last season, I'm pretty sure. They gave him a contract.
A good enough backup for a team that want to be competing at the highest level and players like that. But I think they'll be pretty comfortable in third, and then second, Liverpool, I think.
Jesus.
I always tend to put Liverpool higher, but just based off like trying to be logical with, for one, they've got a lot of like players a part of their core. I know they've had to change it a little bit with players like Fabinho and Firmino leaving, but I still think they've got a strong enough core there and a system that is very solid and efficient. And Klopp's a great manager. And then first is City, because although I think they are slightly weaker than they probably were last year, based off personnel coming and leaving, I still think they're the best team, and it'll be a couple of years to challenge them. So, yeah, I think.
Okay. Andrew's still seething. Scott, your go.
I'm going Liverpool fourth. I'm going Chelsea third, Arsenal second, and City first.
That's what I said.
So it's basically the same as, I think it's the same as what Ahmed said, just flip Chelsea and Liverpool.
I'm just Liverpool. Okay. Fair. I mean, listen, they got McAllister, they got Supersly, who I do rate. Yeah. But the defense.
Now they got Endo. They got Endo.
Who the fuck is Endo? Like,
he's
okay,
some
whatever.
brilliant DM. You just don't know about me yet.
Okay. Chris, tell me. What are you thinking? What are you cooking?
Honestly, yours has baffled me. I can't lie. Like, putting Arsenal first.
Yeah, sure.
Stinky.
We'll see. We'll see in January.
We'll see. Okay. Man United is fourth. Chelsea, I think Chelsea have finished third. I definitely expect Chelsea. No, okay. I expect Chelsea's got a really good.
You watch yourself, Chris. I swear to God.
No, we got.
Watch yourself.
I'm doing well. Okay. Well, Liverpool's second.
Doing well.
Liverpool's doing second. So I think that. No, but like the reason I say Chelsea should be guaranteed top four because we got a solid defense. Okay. This question, but we got a great midfield. Attacks question, but you know most of the top four.
So, Chris, where have you put? Can I just? This is like I'm not trying to like challenge you. Where have you put?
No, challenge you.
No. Keep going, Chris. Actually, just keep going.
Well, I was going to put Liverpool. Okay. I thought he was drinking that vodka straight then. I looked up and I thought, shit. That's some hardcore shit. Liverpool second because I think they're going to be too stubborn to let go of Salah at this point because they can't buy no one now. So I think Salah stays. And Man City are going to be comfortable first. Comfortable by like 20 points.
Liverpool second. God damn. Okay, guys.
Yeah, but Liverpool, I think they keep Salah. And if they keep Salah, they are going to be definitely. I think second this time, but not
gone,
close
man.
though.
Salah's gone.
I don't think he has, Ahmed. I really don't think.
No,
what happened? You're not doing anything anymore.
No, it got delayed by like extra 15 minutes. So I said, you know what? I can't go on for the next 15 minutes. If you don't want me to,
15 minutes to roast me. It's okay.
Yes,
thanks for proving to us we're your second choice. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew, the people want to know.
So now, one of these picks is all dependent if on player stays.
Chelsea first.
So no, I picked Chelsea.
Nottingham Forest fourth. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that'd be more logical than your bloody ass. So I'm gonna have Newcastle 4th. No wait. Yeah. Wait, hang on. Who did I have 5th? Oh, I had United 5th, didn't I?
Come on, Andy. You need to write down on the book or something.
United 5th?
You had United 5th, yes.
I have mine down.
So Newcastle. I'm going to have Newcastle 4th. I'm going to have Arsenal 3rd because they've not improved. I think they got worse, especially with Timber injured.
No, they got better.
They didn't buy any. They didn't buy anyone. They didn't buy any other defender this window. And they got Kai Havertz in midfield. And they're playing Partey at right back. And they got Jesus is injury prone. And they've got Kai Havertz. So that's an automatic drop down. I'm going to have Liverpool 2nd, especially Saturdays, because I think they will outscore teams. And I don't think he'll play his strongest team in the Europa League. I haven't seen their group. He doesn't have to either. And by a long distance, Man City, who I think won't be as flary this season, but this is Pep Guardiola's best defensive team in his entire managerial career. It's the best defensive team. I
actually agree.
So they will comfortably win it, and I think they'll win it by double-digit points as well.
Yeah.
So I think they'll win it by at least 10 points this season.
No, not Marshall, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I am pretty surprised with most of you guys picking Liverpool to be in this top 4.
Oh, we're the surprising one with Arsenal.
We're the surprising.
Listen, you guys are picking Arsenal 2nd. Like, it's not too far off from what I'm saying. I'm just saying Arsenal 1st.
I put Arsenal 5th.
I picked them.
Majority of you guys picked Arsenal 2nd.
Did we?
But hey, you know what? Like,
because
I guess we're not rating Declan Rice anymore.
Right, Marshall.
But the reason why, Marshall, we're rating Arsenal 2nd is because we believe they are still not good enough as a team to beat Manchester City.
No, that's fair.
You, my friend, are in Cuckoo Land. You're in Cuckoo Land, thinking that Kai Havertz in the 10, Kai Havertz in the false 9, is gonna be the game changer that they need to win the title. Allow it, bro, man. Allow it, man.
But Liverpool,
can I ask you one question too?
That defense is
do you think City gonna be close with points of Arsenal too by 2nd? Like they're gonna be neck and neck pretty much like last season.
No, I don't think so. It'll probably be the same amount, 8 points, like last time.
Oh yeah, it was 8 points. Yeah, it did that. They did actually fall apart, didn't it?
We'll see, boys. We'll see.
They did it last year.
I'm just saying, like,
but
I'm looking at that Liverpool defense, and I'm like wondering how you guys are saying.
Remember, Chris, they wrapped up with 3 games to go as well. Remember that? Yeah.
Arsenal have some shame. When we review this and Arsenal finish like 6th for something, you gotta hang your head and
How have you done this, right? How have you managed, right, to come out of this worse than Chris on these predictions?
Yeah, man, I'm spitting facts here.
That is no, you are. That's what I'm talking about. How have you done this? My God, you've hit a new low.
Taking
the top Chris's predictions.
I put Spurs 5th, and I didn't come out with the worst take.
Taking aside what you guys believe on Havertz, I think Declan Rice is going to bolster their midfield big time. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Although Timber is injured, they still have Gabriel for center back. Oh, Timber was playing right back. No, left back.
Gabriel, who's not playing.
Okay. Gabriel is still there. He was still there in the team last season, so he's still there. Saliba's still there.
I rate him. Keeper shit.
Their right back situation, they could still stick with Ben White there if they want to.
No, they're playing Partey.
I'm not exactly. I know, but I'm saying if they wanted to shift Partey into the midfield again, they have Ben White to be there as well. Zinchenko in the left back situation, they haven't reinforced too much in the left back, unfortunately. But with the midfield, you could bench Kai Havertz and still have a better midfield than what you had last season.
Can
I do, but they haven't.
Hang on. He can't bench Kai Havertz. I'll tell you why.
Because of the transfer.
He wanted Kai Havertz.
Yeah. I know.
He wanted Kai Havertz. The board,
I'll-
he had to go
yes.
against the board to buy him, and he's paying him over 250 grand a week.
I'll elaborate more next week when I tell you guys when we're doing this Kai Havertz debate. But I think if they finally decide to play Kai Havertz in a number 10 role because they're playing with wingers, unlike us who were playing with left wing back and right wing back, I think it's going to give Kai Havertz more opportunity to shine in that position. I'm not saying listen. Listen, oh my God, all you want. The only reference you guys have of Kai Havertz is basically him playing as a striker and a false nine.
Hang on.
You just
You know what I'm going to do? Because on my screen, I can't see your face fully. Because
we need to see it.
I want to see your face, right now. Okay, I cannot believe you are still pulling. If they do this and they do that, Kai Havertz will shine. 3 fucking years.
Saying.
This guy's darkness. He's a black hole. He sucks every person behind him. He is a black hole of death. He's This is what he is.
I can't
I
believe
cannot
it,
believe
man.
I'm still hearing this. They have to change.
No, we haven't.
Basically,
No, we haven't.
You know what Kai Havertz needs? You know what Kai Havertz needs? He needs a magic monkey hand, like grant him be a good footballer.
No, I'm sorry, I forgot. Now Arsenal have misprofiled him as well, so they're going to have to change the wingback system to get him in. But why would they?
The fact that they play with wingers, I think it's gonna. Okay, we'll discuss it. Let's go on.
There's nothing to discuss on that one. I'm sorry, boss man.
Listen, let's go on to player of the season.
I didn't think about this.
This
Marshall I think Kai Havertz right this way.
There's nothing to talk about.
Chris,
well,
okay. There's goal scorer of the season and there's player of the season. So keep those two in mind, Scott. But Chris, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put you on the spot. What do you think for player of the season?
Kovacic. No.
You've been hanging out with Kai too much.
And that would have been the most insane pick.
That would. I had to pull that back real quick. What's it? How do you pronounce his name? The Croatian centre back. I think he might have a shout.
Oh, Guardiola.
Wait a minute, Chris, you're getting exposed for this. I can't believe this.
What do you mean?
At times,
let me put them beside each other.
I've been about Guardiola for years, and I said to Chris, he's going to be one of the best defenders in the league, and you're like, I'm not sure, I don't think so.
I don't remember that, but he's looking really good for City, and in the World Cup, he looked very good too. In the World Cup, he is looking very good. I do rate him well. I don't know when you said this to me, but you must have said it somewhere. Or I weren't paying attention. I don't know, but like, but okay, there's two choices. It's gonna be hard.
And can I just say, in Chris's defense, it is logical to assume he wasn't paying attention.
I don't remember.
We have got like we have got
I'm
hundreds of examples of this when he hasn't been paying attention. So we have to.
I just don't remember. I don't remember, but I know, Will, you would have rated him way before me, of course, but like after the World Cup and seeing him under City right now, he's looking really good. So I'm just gonna give him a shout. Actually, put him player of the season. Actually,
fairs, Chris. Fairs.
All right.
You have to say that, Will. He does not pay attention a few times. You know what I mean? Like even on screen.
Scott, going in the order we were going before. Scott, what is your pick?
It's Haaland, isn't it? Like
he's one of my choices.
It's Haaland. He's going to score. He's going to be top goal scorer. Spoilers. It's Haaland.
Player of the season.
How many goals he got in the Premier League last season, by the way?
37,
nearly 40.
36, 37.
Do you reckon he tops even more, or just like?
No, probably not. But he still gets top goal scorer.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Chris, if he, I think he got 53, right? This season, get to 100 goals for City.
Oh my God! Look at Kai slithering in.
Yeah, look at the Gallagher pictures me and Will's repping.
We already heard the tears. Go on. Who's
there
next?
we go. More Gallagher pictures coming.
Will's next.
This, as Scott said, Haaland is going to win it, but I want to pick someone else instead of Haaland. Although Haaland is my pick because he's going to win. But I think at the end of the season, I think it'll be a consensus that Fernandes is the second best midfielder in the league, unless you want to count De Bruyne, who will be injured for a lot of the time.
Oh, Enzo. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Enzo.
So, yeah.
You thought you meant Bruno, didn't you?
I thought he meant Bruno. I was
Bruno,
like,
not
what?
No. I mean, Enzo.
Will, who are
Just
you
say
anymore?
just say Enzo because normally say Enzo.
You
Oh,
scared
my God,
me.
Sorry. I had a
Enzo.
heart attack then. I thought he was going to top Marshall's bad choice. Then.
I got scared for a second.
Oh,
Is
good
it
lord, I had a
Bruno?
heart attack there. Oh,
So
yeah.
my official pick is Haaland.
Enzo.
My personal pick, Enzo. Okay.
Okay, that's fair. Andrew, your pick for player of the season.
Kai Havertz.
Come on, now.
He's winning the league, man. Come on.
I hear it, man.
I'm curious about your one, actually.
This all depends if the player stays as well. I'm really tempted to say most change and just go Mo Salah, but there's too much. It's too much of a. That's why I might change it in January or something like that. But I'm gonna say, yeah, exactly. Thanks, Scott. But I'm not really drinking, and my mind's gone. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna be boring. I'm gonna say Haaland. It's just, to me, it's just obvious.
Yeah, he's got to get a goal, isn't he? I want to be a little bit different in the City team. I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some. I'm trying to think of people like new signings and stuff like that, and I can't.
I was thinking actually,
I would have said this. I would have said this. If Nkuku was fit and maybe started well, I would have maybe gone Nkuku for a change or something like that. But I can't.
I'm just gonna have howlers this stream, aren't I? Okay.
Yep.
You're
Go ahead, Ahmed.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Don't top it, please. Oh my god!
Go ahead, Ahmed. Go ahead, Ahmed. Ahmed, you're the setup.
It's interesting indeed. This question. Some may say just Haaland, others may say Enzo Fernandez. But you know what I say?
Just one of us.
Sandro Tonali.
What would I say, Sandro Tonali? What would you say, Gallagher? But the reality is that there is an unstoppable force, and his name is Eric Haaland.
Okay, cool. Put that build up for Haaland.
Oh,
I was thinking Eric who, and then you said Haaland. Okay.
Haaland.
I was like,
Erling Haaland.
Yeah, Erling. I thought you said Eric.
Erling
Yeah,
Haaland. All right, I'm gonna be a differential here.
Oh my god!
I think no. I'm not that deluded.
Okay.
I think that
heard your opinion.
Listen, I think Haaland's gonna do great this season. With De Bruyne not being there, it's gonna hurt a little bit. I think people are gonna be more prepared for Haaland. But I think Jesus Christ. Hold on. Let me just
fuck.
It's better than
Bukayo Saka.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, there we have it. At least ain't Kai Havertz, but
I'm actually going to defend Marshall before you get on to it.
I'm happy with that one. That's not a bad decision.
He probably will actually be up there.
That's fine. I'm not. That's fine. Let's move.
you're insane.
He's been doing better and better every season, and he is like the sole spine of that attack at Arsenal, and the team in general. If he were to get injured, then my pick gets in the mud.
Let's see.
But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we will see if he turns up. But I think he's looking good so far this season. I think he'll do okay. All right. Let's move. I think he's gonna do great. Flop of the season. This one's gonna be interesting.
We're talking about player, right? We're talking about player.
Yeah,
right?
player.
Okay.
Player flop of the season. This is mostly transfer, right? Transferred in player.
I've got
the season.
I got my answer.
I think I know where your answer is, and Kai, this one's for you. Mason Mount. Flop of the season.
I knew he was gonna say that, but I actually don't think he's gonna. In my opinion, I actually don't think it's gonna be Mason Mount this season. My pick is Kai Havertz.
Mine's so fine. So is mine.
We're gonna say that.
Hey, Ahmed, here's a barrel of fish. There you go. You know what I mean? Like that. Easy
Yeah,
as
man.
that.
No, because the reality of the situation is, listen, even though Mount is not been a great player, I don't think he's gonna be as bad as what Havertz is doing to the United, to what's happened at Arsenal, where he's being forced to play for the price that he's been brought for and everything. Honestly, so for me, he's a bust. So and
listen, my defense for Mason versus Kai is that I don't think Kai has been costing Arsenal games so far. Mason Mount, you could argue.
He missed an open goal in the 2-2 game.
Oh my
Mason
Lord,
Mount, you can argue, has been holding back. Bruno Fernandes has been holding back. Casemiro has been holding back a lot of the players in this team. But that's my take. That's my take on Mason.
You might need Father Gallagher, man. We might need Father
Hey,
Gallagher.
whoa.
Listen, I think Mason Mount holds back teams. You could say
And what
Havertz
does
is not
Havertz do?
clinical.
What does Havertz do then?
I think he just makes boring passes. That's it.
Wow.
There you go.
You know, man, I need to get out of here for my sanity. Like, you're testing my sanity, Marshall. Honestly.
You don't want no top scorer?
Go ahead.
You're probably saying
Go
Kai
ahead,
Havertz
Andrew.
for that.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Go ahead, Andrew. He's not a striker.
No, he's
Wait,
not.
Ahmed, do you have to go?
I'm on the other. I've got my other one. I'm waiting for Florence.
I have his options here, so don't worry. We got to think.
So I'm not going to go for Mount and Havertz, to the obvious. I'm going to go for Rasmus Højlund.
I was thinking that, but I don't think I'll go with it.
Damn.
Man's got a
Hey,
broken
I tell you
back.
what,
64 million.
I tell you why. It's partially because I've not really watched it. Okay? So
You gotta fuck that out of
my
Lana.
opinion of him is that I don't know if he, for me,
Welcome
when
back,
I haven't
syndrome.
watched a player like this, let's face it, man, no one watches Atalanta. Not even Atalanta fans watch them really that much. So, I too, right? But I it's too much unknown. He's come here already injured, and there's too much pressure on this kid already from United fans. So I think this season, it doesn't mean in the future seasons he won't do well. I just think this. Yes, thank you very much, Kai. I agree.
He doesn't like Gordon.
What a comment.
That's why he doesn't like Gordon.
Well, do you know what? We've been around Kai so much that's normal speech to us. You know what I mean? From Kai, that's not like a shocking statement from him. So, because we know him so well. But yeah, Rasmus Højlund.
Rasmus Højlund's not a bad shot. I will give you that. Will, what are we thinking, Will?
There's a lot of signings I'm not a big fan of, but I don't.
Take into account the transfer price they brought him in for, as well. I think that definitely.
What are you talking about?
Just in general. Just in general. Because that's what I took into account for Mason.
I'm just go through every team in my head. I'm sorry, I might have to play it boring and pick one of the Chuckle Brothers. Which one?
Who'd you say?
I'm gonna say. Do you know what? I'm just gonna say Mount because I put United way lower, and I think. I don't think Havertz will be bad. Mount will also be bad, and I really can't pick between the two of them. So I'm just gonna pick the one who plays for the team that's lower than the other one I predicted. So I'll just go with Mount.
Right.
They're just as bad as each other. They're both shit, aren't they?
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. I'm sorry.
Look at the table right now. Look at the table right now.
Oh, I guess that's down. I guess that's down to Kai Havertz. I guess.
Ahmed and Scott already said Kai Havertz. Chris, are you going to say Kai Havertz?
You're correct. I was thinking maybe Declan Rice to throw in there for 115, but oh wait.
You're not picking Kai Havertz? I thought you were.
I was no.
No, I'm going to say Kai Havertz.
Wait.
I was talking to Scott.
Let Chris finish, then I'll come back.
Oh, I thought you said Chris. Like, I swear you said.
No, let Chris finish, then I'll come back to mine.
Well, I was gonna think.
All right, Chris.
Rice, but like, okay, but I'm gonna say Kai Havertz. Like, Kai Havertz is shit, man. You ain't gonna win the league, Marshall. You can hold that.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Everyone's got. Hey, Marshall, you put this
listen.
on yourself, bro.
I did bring it on myself, but this is for all the years I bantered Chris for his fantasy picks. Go ahead, Scott.
I'll say I'm doing kind of what Will did earlier. My pick is Kai Havertz, but to be a bit more interesting as well, a name I'm going to put up there like someone I'm going to put up there, and I think he's going to flop this season. Brennan Johnson.
You took Adam's advice. That's not a bad shout either. Brennan Johnson for the amount they brought him in for.
The price is right.
How much is he
Yeah,
for?
he's their most expensive incoming this window. Like he cost them more than Maddison did. He cost them more than Maddison did. I don't think he starts for them. If he does, I don't know where he starts because he's not good enough to be a striker. I don't think he's good enough to be a winger for them. Like it's part of the reason why I didn't want him.
I can hear you saying that. Who the fuck is that guy?
It's like Malang Sar. Who? Okay, and then to finish it off, guys, to wrap it up, let's pick our top goal scorer of the season. Are we all just gonna say Erling Haaland?
No, sorry. Can I?
I reckon Jackson.
Wait. What
I think with flop. The problem with what happened Mount as flop of the season, it wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah, but you said it for Havertz though as well.
No, I didn't pick Havertz. I picked Højlund.
I know, I'm just saying in general, like if that's what I mean, I didn't know how to pick Andrew. I'm not gonna lie.
The reason I
know. I'm not. What I'm saying is, if they do end up being flop of the season or up there, it's not a surprise, right to us. You know what I mean? We'll go. Yeah, well, maybe Marshall with Havertz, but
I know, but I hate to admit this. Like, and I said this last season before he got transferred. I thought Mount would probably have a spark of inspiration and kick the ground running with Man United and then die off at the end. But he's been a detriment and a bottleneck to this Man United team since he's been in this lineup. And I think he's just, for the price that they got him for. Listen, you can say what you want about Havertz. I'm still seeing Arsenal competing as of now, and they will be competing without Havertz in that lineup. I think with United and Mount, they're struggling because they're trying to figure out how to put Mount in this lineup.
No, I just laughed at what Scott said. That was you missed it.
That's where I'm coming from. So it is. I think that, yeah.
Very funny.
But yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
Palmer.
Yeah. No, silence.
Can I just ask Kai? Why would Palmer be
this guy?
For the value we paid, 45 million, I guess.
I don't know what they
got Kudus.
Not a fucking.
How much are we expecting from Palmer for him to be flop this season? I kind of agree with Andrew said. The reason I put some of the guys, or mentioned a couple of the guys that I mentioned, is because of the price tags and what they're expected to do for their teams. Like, I'll be real. There's an argument as well. I know we've said he's bad, but for what he's expected to do, there's an argument that Richarlison will probably be flop of the season as well. And we're all thinking of new signings as well. There's some guys who are on big teams now, like Richarlison. I'll be honest, like there's a good chance he's flop of the season. Like because
but he's not a new signing though.
But 40 million. It's not 50k. It's like 40 to 45, whatever it is. Is the new
45 with add-ons?
It's a new 20 to 25 now. Do you know what I mean?
Inflation, like and on top of that, the expectations when he was brought into the team.
40 million is the base now in this new transfer system. Plus, then, but I've got the highest expectations of Palmer at this moment because we don't know where he's going to play, how many games he's going to play, what system we're playing, stuff like that. So it's
not only that, but like the
change
expectations on Palmer is he's going to compete for 10 in right wing. What were we going to say, Scott?
I might change my answer. I might pick or link Richarlison and Johnson in because I think the expectation of what they have to do is they have to replace Kane. Like I'm not expecting them to replace his goals, but that's what they are having to do. They're having to replace Kane. And
but
I don't think either of them are good enough. I don't think them together are good enough to replace Kane. Whether you have one of them playing on the wing, one of them playing up front, whether you have Son up front, whatever. Like
he's not a child. He's 21. He's 21, Kai. He's not a child. He's 21.
He's the same age as
Enzo is 22, and you rate him just fine.
Enzo,
he's just not.
When we signed him, he was 21. We signed him, he was 21.
Enzo's 22. Lavia's 19. Caicedo's 21. Like, who gives a shit about age?
Let's be honest as well. It's not like Palmer has never faced a high level game. Like he scored in the Super Cup, the Community Shield. Like this guy, he's not just some random guy we've got. Like that no one's ever.
Scott, what were you owing about?
He's Palmer Palmer's got the same birthday as me. That's what I was owing about. Yeah, no, it doesn't really matter. But him and Enzo are literally not Enzo. Him and Caicedo are the same age.
Yeah, so
Same
it's
age.
not even like big difference. All right, let's go and pick our top goal scorer. I mean,
Enzo just got his first goal against AFC Wimbledon, so we take that away from him. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Are we picking anything outside of? Are we picking anything outside of Holland for this one?
No.
I'm gonna throw. I'm gonna do what I always do. I'm gonna throw a couple of like honorable mentions in there. I'm gonna throw Jackson in there. I think he's gonna score goals this season. I think he's gonna do really well.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
I think he'll be up there. Like, because I'm looking at like the way I'm looking at it is obviously gonna be Haaland, but I'm looking at guys behind him. Tony's gonna be out half the year. Kane's not here anymore. I'm looking at other guys who can score goals. I think Jackson will be up there.
That's Chalobah, of course. If he stays.
Salah obviously I think will be there. But I'm just trying to think of a couple of outside the box guys that you could like say are probably going to be up there. Another guy that I want to throw up there and I think he will be up there is Isak.
Oh yeah.
Isak if he stays fit.
If he stays fit,
Isak can definitely score a few goals.
There's a lot of people in the Premier League that I think will reach like the 15 mark, like a lot. I think Jackson will be like between 15 and 20. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about 15.
The same guy that.
Yeah.
For the chat, the same guy that rated Lavia is the same guy that's rating Palmer. So listen, we'll let him cook and we'll see what happens at the end of the day.
This couple of years, like, I'm not even gonna lie.
Who else was another Shield signing? It wasn't Caicedo. It was another one too. It was the third.
I don't know. I think those are the only two I know. I think he had a hand in a couple in January, but I can't remember who they were.
So listen, let's see how they cook before we start complaining and bitching about the signings prior.
Like it was him and Lawrence Stewart. It was both of them wanted Badiashile apparently.
That's a good signing.
Yeah, that was a good signing too. So we'll see. But all right, ladies and gents, that was our picks. Maybe we got some.
I didn't say my top scorer, but it's Haaland.
Who would you sign this season?
I ideally said like everyone. Oh, well, we're not doing signing a season. I mean, who would be signing of the season? I guess I'll throw it out there. Why not? Who's signing of the season? Let me think.
Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz.
I'm going to do an outside the box one. James Ward-Prowse.
Oh, he's actually a decent signing.
James Maddison.
That's the right answer.
I don't rate him, but what he's gonna do for that Tottenham team, I think he's gonna be effective.
And the price is a good price.
Sorry.
I do not rate him. No,
I hate to do it. How can you not rate him, but yet still think Havertz might come good?
Lol, he's got you there.
Yeah, he does got me there.
Mental illness.
I'm telling you right now.
Mental health. I need to go to therapy.
The thing, everyone doesn't rate Maddison because he played for Leicester. But look at his stats for Leicester. Even in the injury hit season last year, he's probably one of the reasons they had a chance of even staying up. It's just all those idiots who dared put Mount in the same group as Maddison are going to eat their goddamn words this season. You know what I mean? They are going to eat their goddamn words. He is a brilliant football player. Absolutely brilliant. And he's probably... And if they get a decent striker that's not Richarlison, he would be up there in the assist charts for me. We already saw it this season. That free kick against Brentford, where... Honestly, I know price and everything like that. I think... Do you know what? That price is a steal for Maddison. And do you know what? James Ward-Prowse is a good shout as well. James Ward-Prowse for the price as well. And he started on fire. I just think those two are up there for signings of the season so far. Absolutely brilliant signings. Can I just point out Malo Gusto as well? But
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I was going to say a pricey one for me is that Gavadio or whatever you pronounce it fully. I might get in later on.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, Kai. The discussions of this fan base of them trying to downplay Maddison for Mason Mount is just the tip of the iceberg of the schizophrenia suffering this bullshit fan base. Honestly,
I'll be a little different on this one. I'm gonna say signing of the season is gonna be Ansu Fati for Brighton.
Interesting.
I
I think he's gonna be electric in that team.
That's a decent shout. That is a decent shout because I like to see what he does. Do you know what?
Yeah.
He's one of those players where, where you say you watch Barcelona matches, but how many Barcelona matches do you really watch apart from the Classico and stuff in the Champions League? I really want to see him. I want to see how he does in this faster paced league. Because I tell you
Him
what,
and Mitoma,
he hasn't known this pace of this league, and the way, especially the pace Brighton play as well. I think will surprise him as well. Especially, I don't know whether he's going to play in the 10 or out wide, but it's a brilliant sign, and that goes to the power of the Premier League that Brighton are signing a player even like this on loan. That's madness. If you told me 2 years ago, or even a year ago, that Brighton would sign Ansu Fati on loan, I would have kicked your ass. That's what I would have done. Honestly.
I will say too. I mean, this is like a little bit of a shout out. Milner for Brighton is not a bad shout either. When you think about
Diaby.
it. He's been doing really good.
Oh yeah, that's Diaby as well. Actually, might be one as well. Like, I tell you what, there have been some fantastic signings. Like, I was just looking through them. Like, Diaby, I think will smash it. I agree. I think Fati will smash it. I think Ward-Prowse. I think Kudus will do really well at West Ham as long as like.
I want to see how Kudus does in a.
Yeah,
as long as Moyes doesn't ruin him. I honestly think all of the Newcastle signings they've made are going to hit. I'm looking at some of the guys that they've signed. Like, I think all of them are going to hit. I think some of the guys Forest have signed. Sangare, I think, is going to do really well. I think Alanga's looked good for them. I think that I'm just looking at it here. Like the goalkeepers they signed, I like both of them.
How many signings we talking about for Forest, man? Jesus Christ, I'm like,
but there's been some great signings, like in general across the.
I think you could really look at. I think you could look at a good number of teams that have had a good transfer window. I mean, I say what I say about Arsenal. I think they're weaker due to a Timber injury and not bringing in anyone else. But Rice is a great signing. Raya, I think Raya is better than Ramsdale overall. Let's see if that works itself out.
I agree.
Timber was a very good signing, but now he's injured. The only thing that draws it down is Kai Havertz. But I don't look at Man City. Man City's, as much as I say about our outgoings and incoming, I think Man City have had a brilliant transfer window. They signed Vardiol, Nunes, Kovacic, and Doku. And they've re-signed Kyle Walker, Bernardo Silva. They've actually, do you know what? I don't care what anyone says. I know Riyad Mahrez and stuff like that, but overall, I think they've got stronger. Because I think, I read a Rodri comment about, I said it earlier, Kovacic allows me to get forward more. This is Rodri, bro. Best DM in the world. But even he's thinking about adding goals. We saw it on the weekend. Sheffield United, he added a goal scorer there. And they brought Nunes in as well. They can rotate. They got Doku there now. Vardiol, who's honestly, like I said earlier, this is Pep's best defensive team. I don't think any team will get close to our Premier League record of 15 goals per season. I just don't see it happening in modern day football. As good as defensive teams are, I just don't see it. But you know what? This team could get pretty close to it.
I can see it.
Like that. They are so hard to score against. It just doesn't. But even Man United's now. Man United, they bought the goalkeeper in they wanted. They've got Amrabat in. They've got Højlund in. Got Mount in, whatever. They got Reguilon in, whatever. And even Liverpool to a certain extent. Okay, you got Gravenberch and Endo in. You got McAllister, Chalobah. They needed that. I think they still need another centre back. If I'm being honest with you.
That defense is horrid.
But that front line, if they keep Salah this season, the options is the best options in the league for me. The options that they have. Jota,
I just
Nunez, Diaz, Gakpo, and Salah. That's the
okay.
best options in attack. But
I think my pick for best signing is Jackson. I think for 30 million we got. I think the goal return will be fucking brilliant for a 30 million pounds number 9. I think he'll be signed this season. I was going to say Guardiola, but I thought I'd pick Jackson just because it was a bargain as well.
But I mean, we'll just have to see. We have the end of the transfer window in January to change any of this up. If we decide to change any of this up, I get to backtrack my howler if it ends up being a howler.
No, it's not. It's a when. It's not an if. It's a when.
We'll see. I think I disagree with you guys. I think they did reinforce, but. Yeah, we'll come back to this in January. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been an almost 3.5 hour stream. Deadline stream plus Premier League predictions. So please, if you haven't done so already, smash up the like buttons. Thank you so much for being here. Big up to the panel for sticking through with this as well. 3.5 hours. I did not expect it to go this long. Big up to Will. Big up to Winter Surfer, Real Chris, Sky, and Ahmed who stuck around. But ladies and gents, make sure you smash the like buttons. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit up the bell notification so you are notified when we do go live. We will be reacting to the result of the Chelsea game come tomorrow, so that'll be an hour after, or the game is at 11 my time, so that is
no, it's at
3 p.m.
It's at 3 p.m. our time, so it'll be 10 a.m. your time.
Okay.
Oh no, wait.
So
Wait. Do you want to do it an hour after? Or do you want to do it later?
It'll be 10 o'clock your time. That's my point. If it's
10 p.m. our time, okay. Yeah, okay,
10 p.m. your time for tomorrow.
So a few hours. After,
don't forget the Scott. Don't forget Scott in the hate comments. There you go. Yeah, we'll have a segment for that whenever it happens.
Got to read out some more hate comments, please. Actually,
but yeah, guys.
Even if you don't like Scott, don't abuse him. So then I'll get into it.
Yeah. Hey, when it gets abusive, then I'll delete the comments, obviously. But no, it's all in fun. It's all in jest. But yeah, check out the links in the description below. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your Scott hate comments down below. And also shout out to the proper casual and higher tiered members. That's Winter Surfer, OG Turbo Jesus, Scott, Dark, and Adrian. Thank you for the support at the proper Chelsea level, and thank you everyone else who supported at just casual Chelsea level and all that stuff. So big up to you guys who are members. Be sure to check out the memberships. You do get perks out of it. But ladies and gents, we're going to end it right here. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful night, and we'll catch you soon. Stay casual. Peace.